Emma Bell with the anthem this afternoon, as kills it as she always does. And we're getting ready for baseball here as today's starting pitcher Chris Boato takes the hill here, and what's definitely classified as a bullpen day for the Cardinals.
Yeah, the schedule necessitating things to be that way once again. Chris Boato has been eating a ton of innings for this team lately. Chris Piano let him run for a little bit on Wednesday night at Toronto once the score got a little out of hand. Nearly completing 3 innings of relief work. He had another big multi-inning appearance a couple Saturdays ago at the Kitchener Panthers. And on the hill once again today, trying to go as far as he possibly can and save the bullpen as much as possible for the latter half of this ballgame.
No question he'll be trying his best here. As Emily's got the crowd round up here, we'll take a quick look at the starting lineup for the visiting Barrie Baycats. Noel Gary Doyle is leading things off in right field. Brandon Hernandez, the shortstop, is batting second. Clayton Keys is in center field. He's batting third. Nolan McAbrody is fourth at first base. Kristen Clark, the left fielder, is batting fifth. Willie Garcia is a designated hitter. And the winning batter of the day, again, we questioned the logic behind that one. He went 4 for 5 yesterday, but he's the DH, batting in the 6th hole. Noel Hull's at third base. Tyler Plumpton's behind the plate doing the catching. And Alex Wickett, the junior call-up, is at second base for the Baycats.
I'm starting to think the selection of the beer batters and waiting men of the game is not so random on the part of the Cardinals game day department. Willie Garcia leads the Barrie Baycats in strikeouts in the wrong way. He has 21, 2 more than Nolan McAbroda's 19. That's the most in the starting lineup today.
Well, Garcia, the former Chicago White Sox outfielder, now down here with the Baycats, the second signee from the majors. Of course, Frank Garza is the big one a few years back, arriving on the scene in 2018. And what an acquisition he was. As Noel McGarry Doyle will lead things off here against Chris Boato. We'll look at the defense for the Cardinals after the first batter here. As Noel McGarry Doyle lines up in the first pitch he sees, and that's going to be a base hit to start the ball game.
Quintessential Noel McGarry Doyle to start things off. He won't let a strike go by. One of the most aggressive swingers within the strike zone on this Barrie Baycats team, and if anything's even remotely close, he'll be trying to let it fly. He's got the pop to do it. Barrie's in business early on.
That they are. Defense for the Cardinals: Pena's in left field, Duncan's in center field, Dominguez in right, Salazzo at third, Nickel at shortstop, Brown and Katakos at first. Tanner Rempel doing the catching. This one's chopped on the ground. Brown has his first opportunity. He'll get the force out to get Brandon Hernandez on the 4-3, but the runner goes to second base, McNary Doyle.
Stepping up the plate, center fielder number 43, Clayton Keys.
And Clayton Keys, the former Cardinal, making his return to the IBL earlier this week.
Yeah, how about that?
Back from the Frontier League.
Yeah, Keys has gotten off to a loud start with the bat since returning to the IBL. 3 hits in his first 7 at-bats. All 3 of them are extra base hits, with the homer yesterday in the romp of the Brantford Red Sox.
Yeah, the bats were booming for the Barrie Baycats yesterday, that's for sure. As Keys takes ball 1 outside here from Boato. That one's inside, misses in there for a call. Umpires tonight's contest: Mike Kinnear's behind the plate, Chris Gone is at first, and Ryan Heron is at third.
Keys, the Calgary native, hit .302 in 27 games for these Cardinals here in 2023. Back at Bernie for the first time since then.
That one's in a called strike, evens the count at, 2 balls and 1 strike on Keys. 1-0 here in the top of the first inning. Runners at second base is Noel McGarry Doyle. Fouled away by Keys, evens the count at 2-2.
It's always impressed me with Chris Boato how soft he throws, and yet how consistently he's able to generate chase. Batters frequently expanding the strike zone against him despite the lack of overpowering stuff. It goes to show you the power that finesse and spin can have in this game in a wide arsenal, and Boato's definitely got that to his advantage.
No question he does. That one's in there for a call. Strike. Keys doesn't like it, but he'll go down looking here. And there's 2 away now in the first inning. And that'll bring up Nolan Maciabroda now, the first baseman.
Step up to the plate for first base, number 20, Nolan Maciabroda.
Maciabroda was one of those Baycats that had a weekend to forget against these Cardinals at the end of last month. Between Owen Boone and Frazee Adamas, he had absolutely no answer for the Cardinals starting pitching.
A lot of strikeouts.
Yep.
And a few looking, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, striking out a boatload of times.
So he takes that one on the outer half for strike one.
Of course, Nolan, like most of the lineup, has recovered well. He's now hitting over 300. The OPS is up past 900. He's a proven hitter in this league. It was only going to be a matter of time, but
as he hits this one in the left field, it's going to be out of the rope. Pena will make the catch, and Boato and the Cardinals are out of the first inning. The Baycats strand a base runner at second base, and that's all they get here. As we'll take a quick look at the standings as well this afternoon. Welland Jackfish leading the league here at 14-5. Chatham-Kent Barnstormers with another walk-off victory last night. Sneak into second place, they're 12-7. London Majors are 12-7 as well, tied for second place. In third place, or I guess in fourth place, are the Maple Leafs at 10-10. The Royals are 9-9 at fifth. The Cardinals are tied for fifth with the Royals at 9-9. Barrie Baycats, as we mentioned off the top, 8-9 in the year. Kitchener Panthers at 8th spot at 6-13. And of course, the Brantford Red Sox looking to jump up the stands a little bit, are 4-15 on the year. But they got a big game against the Panthers this afternoon and an opportunity to inch closer to getting out of the basement.
yeah, and for me, the story in these standings is Guelph. They got off to a very slow start to the year at 4-9, but they've now won 5 in a row. The run differential has climbed back to above 0. Jacob Kush, pitcher of the year, kept the Maple Leafs at bay yesterday as they took 2 in a row from the Leafs this weekend.
That he did. He was just able to, he was relying a lot on the fastball yesterday because nothing else was working. That's what he said in the post-game interviews and everything else, and it was just like, okay. Not often that happens for a guy like Kush and everything else, and against a very powerful lineup like the Maple Leafs, you'd think they would have had a better luck with everything else, but he the crafty veteran he is, he figured a way out of it.
It's funny to me how many times I feel like I hear pitchers after a performance that is at least dominant in a line score admit that they didn't feel like they had their best stuff.
Yep. And I saw the clip of him warming up in the bullpen, and it looked like it was all there. It was just like, okay, he just maybe wasn't feeling it. Maybe it was just a touch thing. Maybe the hands or something. Maybe he's got a blister coming. I don't know. It's just pitchers are weird.
Pitchers, and sometimes it just rolls your way regardless.
Yeah. Pitchers are weird. I was blaming it the fact he cut his hair before, but it's just whatever. Whatever. I got no excuse for Mr. Kush. A well-done performance, and you caught the league's attention last night. Let's put it that way. And the player of the week might come out Tuesday morning on Canada Day, and you might have the name beside. I'm not saying it's a lock, but it's pretty close to it.
Yeah, it definitely increased his odds with that performance.
Yeah. So 8 innings, give up 2 hits, give up a run that was unearned. Yeah, I think you're definitely in the contention. Yoki Pena will start things off here for the Cardinals. Pena followed by Nico Kakatos, Brendan Nickel, Josh Williams in the 4th spot. Carlos Domingos is right field batting 5th. Duncan 6th. Tanner Rempel 7th. Jonathan Salazzo in the 8th spot, and Jaden Brown in 9 at second base today. And their task at hand is Frank Garces, the former San Diego Padre, and just absolutely Mr. Dominant most nights. Last year's playoff MVP.
Deservedly so. If you can believe it, the Cardinals beat him when he was here at Bernie Arbor last month. That game by final score of 3-2.
His first offering is in there for strike 1.
We were talking on Friday about how Yoki Pena has gotten a bit of a kick in the pants since jumping into the leadoff spot. He's got 5 hits since he was moved there 3 games ago.
That one misses upstairs, count even at 1-1, but yes, definitely. Sometimes a little confidence in the manager, say, hey, you can go bat leadoff here, and it helps guys. As he swings and misses that offering, and the count is 1-2. That's some of that ungodly breaking stuff we were talking about before from Garces. One-two offering is called strike 3 on the other half. Pena didn't like it, but he has no choice. He's going back to the dugout empty-handed here. And Nico Kakatos will be the batter now, the first baseman tonight.
Number 10, Nico
Kakato's had 2 hits himself against Welland on Friday night.
That one misses outside for a ball count 1-0. A big cut on that one. Evens the count 1-1.
For how dominant Frank Garces is, the arsenal is relatively simple. He's got the fastball and he's got the slider. The stuff is just that good.
Yep. As Nico fouls that one off, and the count now 1-2. But when you're that good, you don't really need another pitch unless you want to really just mess with somebody.
Yeah, and I'm sure that a changeup would come out in passing against right-handed hitters, but it's nothing you really haven't seen before.
Nope.
He just is that good.
That one misses inside. Plumpton tried to bring it back across the zone. And of course, you got a veteran like Tyler Plumpton who's caught Frank on many, many occasions over the years. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was the option here. Frank was probably given. They say, I want Tyler behind the plate today. As Kayatos swings through that one, Nico goes down swinging, and Garces has got a pair of punch-outs to start this ball game. And Brandon Nickel will be the next victim at the plate here.
Stepping up to the plate,
shortstop today.
32, Brandon Nickel.
Made an absolute highlight reel play Friday night.
That he did. Unbelievable backhand spear and throw to first. Plays a nice shortstop out there.
He does. First pitch from Garces misses upstairs and outside for ball 1.
Garces is a 3.15 ERA through 40 innings on the season, 50 strikeouts to just 6 walks.
Oh, he's up to 52 strikeouts now. So
yeah, 52 now. Yeah, that was entering today. So
yep.
The ratios tell us that a 3.15 ERA, which is already stellar, might actually be higher than it should be.
It definitely is. I would not be surprised to see him cut that down in time, or at the end of the year, probably closer to 2.
Yeah, and if you can believe it, his record entering today is 1-2. The offense just hasn't given him all that much support.
Big swing and a miss, and that's for sure.
Garces getting tons of swing and miss already here, willing to work in all quadrants.
Garces toes the rubber again, gets the sign from Plumpton. His 2-2 offering momentarily here. Plumpton sitting up on the inside here again. Plumpton fouls that one, sorry. Nickel fouls that one off. Stays alive at 2-2. And of course, Sam McCoy, the Baycats media guy, chiming in on my phone here saying, yeah, we're rolling the same lineup as yesterday because got to keep the mojo going.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, right?
Yeah,
they
exactly.
scored 12 runs, snapped a 3-game losing streak. Why not keep the good vibes rolling?
Nickel hits this one to center field, but right there on the nose is Mr. Keys, and he'll reel it in for the 3rd out. Scoreless after 1 here on Cable 14. Here at Bernie Arbor Stadium, we're scoreless after 1 on Cable 14. Neil Schwartzman, Matt Creeley on the call on your Sunday afternoon. Happy Canada Day weekend to everybody. I guess technically Canada Day is on Tuesday, but we're celebrating Canada Day here at the ballpark today. We got red on, and lots of red in the stands as well. Great to see so many people spending the Sunday afternoon with us. Of course, if you're at home and we're at the cottage or wherever else watching, thank you so much for tuning in as well. As Chris Beato will be facing Tristan Clark, Willie Garcia, and Nolan Huller in a scoreless tie to start the second inning.
Now those mini red Canada flags being given away here at Bernie Arbor today. All the fans looking the part, showing their patriotism for this great nation.
Indeed. Tristan Clark, of course, the human highlight reel lately. And he starts this one off with a liner down the left field line, as I spoke right again here. Pena up with it, throws there, and holds Clark to a single to start the second inning. A lot of highlight reel catches down the line by Clark. I know his family's watching from the States as well. Definitely got to get him on either the podcast or something special just for the league as well, just to be a great story to share with everybody.
Yeah, and for all he's done in the field, Clark at the plate has been on fire lately. His batting average sat at .227 in the middle of June, and now he's up to .306 and even higher with that base hit there.
As Garcia pops this one in the air, and it's going to be caught by Brown, and Garcia is retired on the F4 for the first out of the inning. Great job by Jaden Brown to go track that one down. It was almost in no man's land and almost in trouble.
Chris Beato did something that's so important for openers to do in the first inning on a bullpen day, and that is have a quick inning. We didn't see the Cardinals do too much of that in last week's loss on the bullpen day they had, 8-1 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just 10 pitches in that first inning for Chris, getting a lot of first pitch swings and balls in play. That's how you got to do it if you're going to eat as much as possible here.
Yeah, Noah Hull fouls off the first offering from Beato for strike one. Yeah, last week I definitely think we would blame it on the heat and everything else. It was really beastly out there, too. It was hard to even move at points.
Yeah, I know he touched on it Friday, but now that it's Sunday, I'll once again say it's nice to see Alistair running around down there with the mobile camera and the heat not threatening that.
No, exactly. But you pace yourself, Alistair, please.
Yes.
Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint today. And stay hydrated. As Hull hits this one into center field, it's going to get down in front of Duncan. It's going to be caught up by Dominguez, actually. He'll throw to second. Runners on the corners now with one away for Tyler Plumpton. Baycats just hitting the baseball where it's been pitched so far in this contest against Beato.
Plumpton, the ideal backup catcher in many ways. He got that veteran experience back there. He already has turned 37 earlier this year. Entering season number 7 in the IBL, the product of Peterborough, Ontario. It's always good to have that mentorship and knowledge of the game back there.
Indeed.
In the catcher's spot.
As Plumpton skies this one high in the air. Dominguez has got a beat on it. Runners are going to tag. The throw is going to be in time. And he's going to be safe. They're going to say he's underneath the tag here.
Yeah, that throw from Dominguez, a strong one, definitely on time, but Rempel didn't receive that ball completely clean. And the little half second that it took for him to make sure that he had it in his possession was enough to allow Clark to score. Bang, bang play, but goes Barrie's way, and that looked to be the right call from our vantage point.
Definitely was. Plumpton gets a sac fly RBI. Tristan Clark comes home to score. And Noah Hull goes to second on the throw home. Baycats taking advantage and playing solid fundamentals so far. That one misses low to Alex Wickett. 1-0 for the Baycats here in the second now. Wickett hits this one on the fly to center field. It's going to drop in front of Duncan. The throw is going to be off the line here. And Wicket will be held to a single, but it's now 2-0 for the Baycats. There's a RBI single for Wicket up the middle.
Stepping up to the plate, right fielder, 95, Noel Doyle.
Back to the top for the order for Noel Doyle, who led off the game with a single.
Nice job by Wicket there to catch one off the end of the bat and drop it right in front of Tyler Duncan for an RBI base hit. One of the newer Baycats, of course. He made his IBL debut earlier this week at Guelph, just his third game with the team, and his presence felt here.
There he is. McGarry Doyle goes around and that offering, says the plate umpire. And the count is 0-1. There is activity down in the Cardinals bullpen. Somebody's just starting to get loose. Kicking the dirt off the mound anyways.
Looks like Caleb Sorosky.
The Cardinals have got the week off pretty much till Friday now, so.
There's some much needed relief coming schedule-wise for this team.
A little bit of a 8 and 11 days is a little rough on any pitching staff, that's for sure. Of course, they're the odd man out as far as Canada Day goes. Only 8 spots available, and the 9th team has to sit, so that was the Cardinals, unfortunately.
It's got to be somebody every year.
This one's off the hands of McGarry Doyle and back to the screen here. As Wicket wasn't too far off the base there.
Talking about McGarry Doyle and how aggressive he is in the zone, the double-edged sword with that, of course, is that he is prone to chase sometimes, and somebody with swing tendencies that clear-cut and the power that he has, you just got to keep it simple. No meatballs.
Yep, no meatballs. They got the runner picked this time, and there we go. But the throw, unfortunately, is a little high, and Wicket will be in safely at second base. But a great move by Boato. Unfortunately, the throw was a little high. Kakatos.
That's the second time this weekend that the Cardinals have got a runner hung up between first and second, have been unable to tag him out thanks to a wide throw. Fracy Zadamas lobbed one over the head of Kakatos at first on Thursday night in Welland, and then that time Kakatos, just a bit of a high throw there to Nickel at second.
That one misses upstairs on McGarry Doyle. And the count is 1-2.
McGarry Doyle started the season with the Baycats, then he was called up to the Frontier League, and then he was released from the Frontier League. He got into 7 games with the Ottawa Titans. And now back with the Baycats. I'm sure that makes them happy.
Makes them happy, and I'm sure Noel has got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and got something to prove when he came back here, too.
Absolutely.
Two offering is line but foul and out of play, and that's somebody's going to go have a souvenir in their car if they're not careful. We parked in the tennis court today, so we're okay.
Hopefully the souvenir is not in their car. Hopefully next to it without any collateral damage.
So we heard more about the Kitchener windshield smash. It was actually the team photographer's car that got smacked.
Oh, come on. It's always somebody who works for the team, I feel like. We've had a bunch of stories like that here at Barrie past couple of years.
And he's not even parked in a bad spot. It just was a weird bounce and bounced right through his windshield. Like a crater. 3-2 the count now. Boato just readjusting himself and looking in some of the sign from Rempel. Baycats scoring 2 in this inning. That one misses outside, and McGarry Doyle will take the walk here.
That's an unbelievable 2-out at bat by McGarry Doyle. He was aggressive early and fell behind in the count, but with 2 gone, he hung tough to say the least. Fouled off some pitches and is rewarded with a nice long walk over to first base, and the Baycats continue to pass the baton here in the early going of this one.
Brandon Hernandez, who grounded out 4-3 with the batter, he's 0 for 1. Homered in yesterday's contest. His brother Francisco is still recovering from an injury from last weekend. I'm sure the Baycats would love to get him back in here as soon as possible as well. In the dirt, Rempel stops it in front of him, but the count is 2-0 now on Hernandez.
Brandon Hernandez is a tough at-bat on anybody. He's hitting .288 on the season. It's tough to get him to swing and miss on anything in the strike zone, but he also doesn't chase much either. Not very many places that Boato can confidently turn to here. And behind 2-0 in the count especially.
Well, you don't want to make a mistake here with this guy. And that one's outside. Rempel with another stop. 3-0 with the count now. Boato's body language just tells you he wanted to pitch somewhere else and totally missed with it.
And you can tell he's frustrated with himself here.
Three-0 offering is a called strike on the other half. And the count now 3-1 on Hernandez.
Boato signed with the Cardinals in June 2024, and he went almost a full calendar year with the team without issuing a single walk. His first walk issued as a member of the Cardinals came this past June 11th at Welland.
That one misses, and that's going to be a walk here. That'll load the bases for Clayton Keys.
That looks like it'll be it for Boato, as Caleb Sorosky's been warming up down there in the bullpen, and he's going to be thrown into the fire here as the bullpen day is underway officially now for the Cardinals. The first pitching change of the ball game. Boato goes an inning and 2/3 responsible for the runners on, and you just got to love the two-out hitting here by the Barrie Baycats. With 2 outs, they taking some really selfless at-bats here between McGarry Doyle and Brandon Hernandez, not trying to do too much, seeing a lot of pitches and showing respect to the guys behind him, giving him a chance to drive them in.
No question. Well, this is one of 4 games in the Intercounty this afternoon, already underway in the bottom of the 4th inning. The London Majors up 4-2 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Kitchener and Brantford are scoreless, just underway at the same time as we were. And Chatham-Kent and the Guelph Royals were a 2:05 start as well, so they're both scoreless, and both teams are, there's an opportunity there for the Royals to move a little bit up the standings, where the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, depending on the outcome, could slide into second place by themselves. So you see, it's an interesting afternoon anyways. And of course, everybody's off tomorrow, and then like we mentioned, Canada Day, there's 4 games going on all in the evening. 3 6:05 starts, and then a 7:30 start in Guelph. You may have to fire up the Diamond Vision and at home and have everybody join us on the league website for some baseball. Maybe some trivia, maybe some giveaways, and just some fun chat. You guys can watch all the games in one spot.
Like a pretty solid Canada Day to me.
And the best part is I'm going to be home before the fireworks go off. That's even better. I can calm my dogs down. Clayton Keys will face Caleb Sorosky here. The Sorosky family made the trek up here this weekend.
Frequent customers now here at Bernie Arbor. They love coming to support their Caleb, and he was having a real solid season up until his last couple of outings, but really I didn't have a bone to pick with too many of them until his appearance Thursday at Welland. Caleb was the victim of some tough batted ball luck the first few runs he allowed of the season, but Thursday was a little outer as his command evaded him. He gave up that home run to Robert Mullen, trying to find that consistency that he showed early on.
Yep. That one misses upstairs, evens the count at 1-1 here on Clayton Keys. Well, Sam just invited himself to the podcast, to Diamond Vision. There's a ground ball force out at second base. Cardinals get out of the jam here. Baycats lead the bases loaded, but do score 2 runs here and lead this one 2-0 here on Cable 14.
All right, there. You got a message? Let me hear the go, Cards up. There we go. Hello, my women's over here. How are we doing? Make some noise. The energy is fantastic. I have a message for all the kids that have been today. Who wants to run on the field after this? Hey, fans, make sure to come to the game protest.
All right. Bottom of the second inning here on Cable 14. Neil Sherwasno, Matt Creeley on the call. The Barrie Baycats leading this one 2-0, scoring 2 in the top half of this inning, which, you know, usually in Frank Garza's territory is a lot of runs to have to come back with. But Josh Williams will lead things off for the Cardinals and always up to the task. He is. His 4th home run of the season on Friday night.
Yeah, don't let the fact that this is a lefty-lefty matchup with one of the best pitchers in the league discourage you if you're a Cardinals fan. Williams took Victor Payano deep on Father's Day. We'll see what he can do against Garces here.
Big swing and a miss on that first offering from Williams. Count 0-1. Garces looks like he's a little stiff in the back. He's trying to definitely move around here. That one misses for a ball, and the count is 1-1. That might just be how he loads up the mechanism here, too. 1-1 offering is swung on and missed again by Williams, and the count now is 1-2.
The slider has such bite to it, the slight downward movement, the cutting action, movement to the glove side of Garces away from those lefties. They swing at it thinking it's close to the zone, then it ends up in a different area code. Not much you can do.
Oh. His 1-2 offering is outside for a ball, and 2-2 to count now.
And you don't think hitting is the hardest thing to do in sports. After that devastating slider, Garces came back with the heat, froze Williams. Luckily for him, though, it was outside.
Swung on and missed this time, and Garces got his 3rd punch out of the afternoon. I believe he's down 1 off the league lead here. As Carlos Dominguez will be the batter now.
Carlos Dominguez.
He's up to 53, so he's actually 2 off the lead now. It's held by Victor Payano.
No surprise there in that leaderboard.
Well, those guys are going to mash all the way through. I think him, Boone, and Payano are going to have quite the race as far as the strikeouts go this year.
Let's go Cardinals! Let's go
One away here in the Cardinals second inning. They're down 2-0. The Cats scoring their 2 runs in the top half of this frame. Dominguez hits the liner at the shortstop. Bobble recovered by Hernandez. Throw to first is going to be in time to get Dominguez down the line, says the base umpire Chris Goen. And 6-3 goes the putout for the second out of the inning. And Tyler Duncan's music playing, so that means the center fielder's coming to bat in the 6th spot.
Tyler Duncan.
Just 6 pitches to get 2 outs for Garces here, and you don't want to let him get into a groove early, but that looks like what's happening here, and Duncan's going to have to try and at least have a competitive at-bat here, even if he can't get on base.
First offering on Duncan is called a strike, and Tyler's behind the count 0-1.
Ball players talk all the time about good hitting being contagious, and the Cardinals need just anything to fire up the dugout because the smallest thing could push them over the edge.
Duncan takes a big hack at that one, and the count is 0-2.
Right there you saw Garces do something he does a lot. He loves to make use of that quick pitch move to throw off batters' timing.
Garces gets a sign from Plumpton. Plumpton sets up on the other half. That one misses outside. Duncan not biting on that one. Count 1-2. Next half inning, we'll talk about what happened in Welland last night and what the ramifications may be. That one misses outside. Garces with a rare miss here, and it's 2-2 on Duncan. Tanner Rempel waiting in the wings here. Well, by the way, Tanner, welcome back. And now you face Frank.
Yeah.
But great to see him back in the lineup. Came through with a double on Friday night. Duncan fouls that one off. Stays alive at 2-2.
I was admittedly surprised to see Rempel in the starting catcher spot today, especially with the physical issues that have plagued him in the early going and in light of the Cardinals' recent acquisition of Russell Young. But hey, you got to get his legs under him somehow.
Yeah. Garces looks in for the Messiah from Plumpton. 2-2 offering. Misses outside, and it runs the count to full at 3-2. Frank Garces does not walk many people.
And he doesn't. Just six.
Just
this
6,
year.
yeah. Doesn't walk many people. So if you get an opportunity to get a walk from Frank Garces, consider it the biggest gift of the day and move on.
Yeah, you don't put the red light on for Tyler Duncan too often, but wouldn't blame him if he's thinking about it here.
Plumped him down the middle here. 3-2 offering. Is pushed in the air. On the infield, somebody going to call for it. Is the first baseman, Macaberto, who's going to make the catch. Duncan is retired here as Garces and Plumpton are going to have a little conversation here as they come back through here. Cardinals go away empty-handed in the half inning. They're down by the Baycats 2-0. And let's talk about what happened last night in the Welland Jackfish London Majors game. So, bottom of the fourth inning, Carlos Ortega on the hill for the Jackfish. He got ejected for sticky stuff on his hands in the rosin bag. So people have been asking, of course, in the chat, and they've been asking everywhere else via text messages since last night, what's the league rules and everything else goes. To my knowledge, we don't have an official rule on the sticky stuff. I don't think we changed the rules, so we're probably by either Baseball Canada rulebook or Major League Baseball rulebook as far as Rule 3.301. So whatever the league rules as far as that goes, the rules in the baseball books are Major League rules. It's an automatic 10-game suspension. So that could be pretty tough.
Yeah, you remember that one summer where it was the talk of the town in Major League Baseball, 2021, I believe, where those suspensions started raining down. You thought it was just an or a Major League Baseball issue. Well, guess what? It's here too now, and I do think the lack of precedent in this league makes that somewhat of a murky issue in terms of further discipline for Ortega. Without anything explicitly in the IBL rulebook about it, I'm not too sure what can be done at this point. This is kind of everybody's first time.
It's up to the commissioner's office to decide what's going to happen here. So I'm sure there's going to be some sort of phone call meeting or something tomorrow or at some point. I'm not sure it'll get announced or made publicly because the league in past have not made those things public as far as suspensions and everything else. Usually just leaks out from players or whatever else. It's okay, I got 10 games or whatever, got 5 games for whatever. But again, it's nothing at the league rules as far as the discipline goes as well, so we might not hear about it till something comes down or you're like, oh, it's been how many games since he's last pitched, and you figured out to do the math that way.
Yeah, it's I don't envy the rule makers and law enforcers of the IBL here trying to lay down the law in this situation, but if you're the Jackfish, you can't really worry about that right now. They got a big win against the London team that is the only team in this league that's beaten them twice this year. Jack Seward and company in the bullpen did a fantastic job handling the majors the rest of the way.
Yep.
Welland won that one 10-6.
Yeah, that was definitely a weird thing. Skylar Janice got ejected in the first inning.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay. So there goes their closer. As Macaberto fouls this one off here from Sorowski. Top of the third inning we are now here on Cable 14 on the Oshawa, Matt Cridley on the call. Thank you so much for tuning in, wherever you may be. And Sam, thanks for the note as well. We'll clean it up whenever we can. Somebody posted something on the Facebook post for the league's office, so we'll have to take care of that one. People forever posting, the games will be broadcast here when it won't be. Macaberto fouls that one off, and Sorowski ahead to count 0-2 here. The monitor's working again. Hallelujah.
Yeah, we were wondering what was wrong with that to start the game, but
apparently it just wasn't turned on.
Sometimes we make it way more complicated than it has to be.
As McAbroda check swings on that one, and that's just going to be called foul. Shipper went off his hand as well.
Yeah, it sounded like it might have hit him instead of the bat, but Mike Kinnear, the home plate umpire, enthusiastically calls foul. He saw that one the whole way, and boy, even though it didn't hit him, you got to feel, if you're McAbroda, like you got to try and flush that pitch and put it behind you, because Swarovski ran that breaking ball in on the hands and almost made him look silly.
Almost. That one misses outside. McAbroda with a little bit more patience at the plate now, with a 1-2 count now. So we'll carry the 1 and go to delete the 2 and then jump on to somewhere else. A big swing and a miss. Swarovski gets the punch out. McAbroda goes down on strikes. His second time away here. Flew it to the left fielder the first time up. I don't think he likes hitting here anymore.
Maybe not. I wouldn't either if I were him. And Swarovski grabbed all the leverage in that matchup once he induced that foul ball on that slider that nearly hit him in the hands, because after that he went with a couple change-ups down and away, changing the eye level there for McAbroda. Not much he could do. He was probably all out of whack there with his vision at the plate after swinging at a pitch like he did to get to strike 2. And nice work there by Swarovski.
I see somebody else already cleaned it up for me, so I don't have to worry about it. That one's in there for a called strike. On Tristan Clark, who singled and scored a run in the second inning. Big swing and miss by Clark, and the count quickly 0-2.
And you're seeing right now the effects that a wide arsenal and tons of diversity between the velocity and movement profiles and your pitches can do. Unpredictability is the single greatest asset a pitcher can have on the mound. Swarovski's got it.
Good spot to miss there at 0-2. Hoping that Clark would get himself out on the higher pitch there. 1 away here in the top of the third inning. Baycats leading this one 2-0. Scoring both runs in the second inning. 1-2 offering is popped off the end of the bat here. Down the right field line. And it's going to go foul and out of play. Those Cardinals red jerseys do look really sharp. I got to say it.
They are nice, eh? We obviously brought those back last year as part of the Retro Night promotion.
And then the guys that refused to take them off.
Yeah. It's like, oh, new alternate jersey, red and white. They like how it looks, and all of a sudden it's being worn almost as much, if not more, than the traditional home whites.
Yep. Well, and the latest thing was between this and the blue ones, they were the top 2 voted on as far as the alternate jerseys in the league vote. As Clark fouls that one off to stay alive.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little biased, but I do have to agree with the fans on that one. Something about the color scheme and the way it all works out in this set of jerseys. I'd put Hamilton's uniforms against any other teams in this league.
There's been some great alternate jerseys this year. Like, kudos to everybody putting their thinking caps on and having some fun with it.
Yeah.
A big swing and a miss. Swarovski gets another punch out. Clark goes down swinging, and there's 2 away now. Swarovski looking for the hat trick here, and with the weenie batter coming up the plate, Willie Garcia. I'm sure people want a discount on hot dogs here, so you're going to see the kids definitely chanting for another strikeout here.
Yeah, well, this would be a good spot for it, and the beer batter and the weenie man of the game, they always put the whole stadium on notice, and Swarovski already 2 strikeouts in the inning. You bet if he gets to 2 strikes on Garcia here, this place is going to start to get loud.
There's a ball outside to Garcia. The former Chicago White Sox. Remember him playing against the Blue Jays at the Rogers Center. Threw somebody out at the plate. I can't remember who it was he threw out the plate, but I remember he threw somebody out when he was a part of the all-Garcia outfield the one night.
I forgot about that all Garcia outfield till you just mentioned it there. It was him, It was Willie Garcia, Layuri Garcia, and the third one's escaping me.
Yeah, I always forget the third one.
I'm on the case.
That one misses outside, and the count is 3-0 in Garcia's favor.
Oh. So April 14th, 2017, the White Sox started an all-Garcia outfield. It was Willie, Layuri, and Avisail.
Avisail Garcia, there we go. That's one we always say wrong, too.
He was a good hitter for a few years there.
Yep. That one misses for a ball, and Garcia, no hot dogs discounts today, at least not this half inning, as, of course, the booze rain down. 2-out walk here, given up by Sorosky.
Stepping up to the plate to third base, number 28, Noah Hall.
Hull is 1 for 1 in the contest. He singled and scored a run in the second inning. This one's skied high in the air here. Rempel looking up for it, doesn't have a guy on it, and it's going to be the first baseman. Nico Kakatos with the catch there. There was communication this time. I was worried for a head-on collision going to happen. Hull's retired. Baycats straight on the base runner. And it's 2-0 Baycats as we head to the home half of the third here on Cable 14. You see the people running down the line here once again for the bullpen. Sorosky probably just wants to go maybe a couple batters, or somebody's just getting loose. Is that Connor Corey going down there? Or is it somebody else?
Corey was throwing a side session earlier in this ball game. We'll see if he's going to come in with any actual intent here. Of course, on Friday night, he was tossed for arguing balls and strikes with home plate umpire Jeff Rose.
That he was.
And it tripped everybody up because the call that he was arguing was not the call that he was ejected on. It was, a couple batters later, and he said something else to Rosie after the fact, and that was the final straw. You know, I don't know if I've ever seen a pitcher warm up like this. Frank Garces throws his warm up pitches from about 3 to 5 feet behind the mound.
Yeah, it's just, you know, again, I'm thinking he didn't look like he was really loose, like he kept moving his back more and more. I don't know unless that's, like I said, like it might be part of his mechanism and everything, how he throws things, but yeah, he's definitely just like, maybe he just wasn't feeling loose today.
This is my first time in the booth for a Garces game, so someone who's done that more than I have will feel free to corroborate, but does any other pitcher do that? I don't know if I've seen.
Not usually, no. Like usually, like, he took a couple behind him. He threw a couple behind. Maybe he's going to just try to get loose again. Or maybe it's just something he's used to doing.
The quirks of pitchers.
Like, I don't remember him doing it last year in the finals or anything, because no, I don't remember him doing it. So maybe I just didn't notice it. Maybe it was more just where, okay, it's Frank. How are we going to get the hits against this guy?
Number 44, Tanner Rempel.
As Tanner Rempel will step to the plate here, and as Alistair does the 360 spinorama here. Man, he's good at that.
Takes practice.
Yeah. I would have fallen over my feet there, and then the camera would have been flying. As Rempel swings and misses that first offering from Garces. Bottom of the third inning, Barrie Baycats up 2-0.
Well, we touched on it earlier, but it was nice to see Tanner Rempel back into the lineup for the first time in 3 weeks on Friday. He recorded a hit against Welland, but he shoots this one into right, way up in the air. Caught for out number 1 there by McGarry Doyle. Another quick out for Garces.
Sam O'Coin once again filling in the blanks for us. He's always done that, so we just didn't notice it. But definitely 23 and 24, and then this year for sure. Sometimes it's normal, maybe. I mean, even Sam's not sure.
Well, hey, whatever makes Frank Garces comfortable, I'm not going to question it.
No.
The results do kind of speak for themselves there.
Yep. If you want to eat French toast and banana sandwiches on the bench, by all means, man. Yeah, I skipped breakfast. I was going to make French toast this morning. I got up to make French toast this morning and never got out of the office.
Well, depending on the result of this game, we'll see how consequential that was.
Yes. But I did prep dinner, so I guess we're okay. I did that last night. It's a ground ball hit to the second baseman. A good flip by taking time to get Salazzo. And there's 2 away here in the home half of this 3rd inning. As Jaden Brown will come to the plate now. Garces is definitely being Frank Garces today.
Second baseman number 6.
A whole lot of zeros to this point. And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, not giving up too many balls in play, and the ones he does are not quality contact, to say the least. Salazzo out front of that pitch, he rolled over it. That's exactly what Garces is trying to get him to do, of course, and I bet he'll be trying to do more of the same here to Jaden Brown.
Brown pops this one in the air. That's going to be foul, and on a play, Plumpton gives it chase before running out of real estate. Thankfully not running into the fence or our cameraman.
Garces at just 36 pitches so far through 2 2/3. If he can strike Brown out on this next one, it'll be 37 pitches through 3 innings. That is a good pace.
That's darn efficient. But that's just shades of when him and Boone went head-to-head here. I think they were like 79, 80 pitches.
The sun had barely gone down
Yep.
by the time that one was over. That was masterful
Yes, it was.
from those two.
It's kind of like quietly hoping for a rematch, but that's not going to happen today.
I'm sure it will before season's end at least once.
Yep. That was just a fun day. You know, you get the messages from the manager going, yeah, okay, yeah, Frank's on the hill. Okay, cool. And you just curiously message Eric and go, okay, who's pitching for us? Well, who else is going to pitch for us on a Friday night? So I'm like, yeah, that's kind of a dumb question. Okay, let's go.
Who about Owen Boone? Yeah.
Yep. Let's go make a fun poster. Like a veteran prize fight poster or something like that. And that got a lot of views.
I've always kind of straddled the line as between new school and old school type of fan, offense and low scoring games and such, but man, a good pitcher's duel. I know I've said it before, but there's just nothing better.
No. One-two offering is swung on and missed, and Mr. Garces has got himself another punch-up.
Across the board for both sides. It is 2-0 Barrie.
Nothing across here in the home half of the 3rd inning. The Baycats leading this one 2-0 here on Cable 14.
All right, Hamilton, it is time for vs.Barrie. I have Eleanor and Charlie. It is sisters facing off, and we're gonna cheer them on. Let's go, girls! Eleanor, get set, go! Let's go, girls! You got it! All right, guys, turn around to me on the finish line. All right, Hamilton, yeah, good job! Good You guys are superstars! Way to go!
Stepping up to the plate, the catcher number 44, Tyler Plumpton.
Top of the 4th inning here on Cable 14. The Barrie Baycats leading here on a Canada Day at the ballpark. I'm Neil Sherwasma, Matt Crilly on the call for you guys and gals, wherever you may be watching on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Tyler Plumpton will lead things off against Caleb Sorowski here. An inning and a third so far in relief for Mr. Sorowski as he gets Plumpton on the first offering there for strike one.
One of the Cardinals' many catchers, Ethan Martin, just strapped on his pads and went and sat down near the bullpen, so we'll see if that means somebody's going to get loose soon. Sorosky came in with 2 outs in the top of the second, and now he's going to try and get the Cardinals through to the 5th inning here in this contest. Last time up, we talked about Plumpton's steady presence back there with the Baycats, the longtime number 2 catcher there. He's also swinging a hot bat, .316 through 7 games this year. A couple sacrifice hits, knows how to lay down a bunt, and there's another one.
There's another one. Well, Tyler Plumpton, of course, unfortunately had a freak accident last year in the bullpen, breaking one of his bones in his leg while he was just catching a warm-up with, I believe, Brad Graverson.
Yeah, you always hate to hear stuff like that, especially in such unassuming circumstances, so obviously great to see Tyler back in action this year.
The leadoff single here in the 4th inning, and Alex Wickett, who singled and drove in a run in the in the 2nd inning, will be the batter now with nobody away. Can definitely smell the hot dogs today. As Wickett hits the first one he sees down the line, but it's going to go foul, and almost at the line, at the stretching player down the line here.
I'm not sure what Cardinal reliever that is, but he's probably just trying to get some vitamin D, get the muscles loose, and foul ball.
Oh, thanks. Souvenir. Sorry, it was 2023, not last year. It was the year before. When Plumpton had that freak accident. It was against the Guelph Royals. There was a little bit of a delay to start the game even. I think there was a little bit of rain delay. I remember the Royals were playing baseball golf on the infield.
That is one of my favorite baseball traditions. Always nice to see what fun and mischievous activities teams get up to when it's raining.
Just can remember the year. I can remember they were playing baseball golf. Okay.
I remember the Chicago Cubs in a rain delay a few years back did some human bowling, sliding in the puddles.
This one's lined at the shortstop. They're going to throw the first, and Plumpton's going to be back okay as the ball scoots away from Katatos, and Plumpton's on his way to second. So Wickett's retired. Sorry, no, that wasn't Wickett. That was Nolan Gary Doyle's retired. Wickett was already retired.
Yeah, and Brandon Nichols played a good shortstop this season, so this is obviously not to single him out, but the fundamentals and the defense for the Cardinals this season has been, I think it's taken longer for them to get on top of the ball on that side of things than they would have wanted. It was an easy double play opportunity there to get Sorosky out of the inning and keep things rolling here. And the failure to reel that throw in means now that Brandon Hernandez gets to hit. Now keeping the inning going under any circumstances is less than ideal, but Hernandez, as we've mentioned, is a tough out. You just don't want to give them too many chances. This team did, after all, win the Dominico Cup last year.
Now that they did. 93 consecutive innings without giving up the lead. This one's up the middle. Brown up with it. He'll get the ball, throw the first in time. And the Baycats stranded under base runner. 2-0 is your score as we head to the home half of the 4th inning. And we're going to talk about the All-Star Game festivities coming up here in Hamilton on July 20th. Get your tickets from HamiltonCardinals.com. Come join the action on Sunday, July 20th. The Home Run Derby is scheduled for 4:30 in the afternoon. The All-Star Showdown first pitch is 7:30. You guys can vote right now if you go to the ibl.ca/vote. Cast your ballots. Be part of the process to pick the starters for the All-Star Game, both North and South teams. And of course, the media is going to be voting on their ballots this week as well. So, yes, we're going to be very close. And of course, keep an eye out on the league socials tomorrow. We're going to be announcing who's leading the categories tomorrow at lunchtime. So it'll be an interesting post. But we're not going to show vote totals or anything. We're just going to give you guys the leaders. We're not going to give away numbers or anything like that. We're not going to reveal secrets.
Yeah, we can't give away too much here. That would nothing to discourage the fans from voting.
Yep, exactly. But yes, I'll just say there's a lot of tight races right now, and every vote is going to count. So let's leave it that way.
And that should be motivation enough. We're stressing it all broadcast Friday. We're going to do it again today. Vote, vote, vote.
Yes.
You, the fans at home, are more powerful than you think. You can. It's up to you. It's in your hands who's going to this All-Star game, and make your voices heard and send your favorites. Here at Barrie Arbor, the Stars will be out on July the 20th. It's going to be a fun, action-packed day, a fun weekend. Festivities for the Cardinals are going to start early, as they're going to have their only Thursday night home contest of the year.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I was like going, wait, we're here on Thursday?
Well, they got to account for the All-Star game somehow, give some extra time to set up and everything else. So Thursday night, the 17th, the London Majors will be in town, and then Friday is the only Friday off day at Barrie that the Cardinals will have all season, and then Saturday and Sunday the fun happens.
But I'm pretty sure the Cardinals are actually in London that Friday night.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually doing that game on Friday night. So I'm going to try not to call it like a Hamilton Cardinals home game, but I'm on the mic that night, so it's going to sound like a Cardinals home game. I'm not going to channel my inner Josh Bain or anything, but I'm going to have some fun with it.
Well, Neil, some people might say this is in bad taste, but I feel I have no choice but to nip it in the bud. After Frank Garces was narrowly outdueled by Owen Boone here at the end of May at Barrie Arbor, he nearly threw the first 9-inning no-hitter in the IBL in over 50 years.
Yep.
And wouldn't you know it, through 3 innings, the first time through the Cardinals order, there have been no base runners. So make of that what you will.
You went there. Okay.
Mr. Pena. Make of that what you will up at the plate here, is hoping for better fortunes second time through.
I was waiting for Alan Ross to have to spoil it like he did the other night for the other batter. When the Jackfish had one going into the 6th. As Yoki Pena pops this one up, and it's going to hopefully get out of play. Oh, Plumpton almost got that one. He slides into the chain link fence here. He's okay, but it looks of it. And getting a couple of taps and whatever else from the guys on the bench here. I think Luis Bernardo's right there in the corner.
Yeah, you gotta love the effort. Plumpton sliding right into the gate that the Cardinals players used to get in and out of the hallway to their locker room, and kick some dust up near the game day tent, but just narrowly missed hauling that one in. Pena got all twisted around on that inside pitch and popped it up, and luckily for him, he will live to see another pitch here.
And the fans are speaking. I can't believe you said that.
It was a risky move. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
I just the parallels and what Frank did
In that game, yes.
after the start after the one he had against Owen Boone here, I couldn't help myself.
That one misses outside. Pena's got a 1-2 count on him. But yes, it's like the broadcaster unwritten code. He just broke every violation there. If there was a kangaroo court, that would be a pretty hefty fine, my friend.
I understand that I might not be making any friends up in Barrie, but believe me, if they saw the running broadcaster jinxes that we've had here in Hamilton this year,
and you know,
they'd
the
understand.
The worst thing is I bought a whole pile of sour candy yesterday. I left them on the stairs this morning.
Oh.
So, you know, the kids are going to come back today from wherever work and whatever else. They're going to help themselves to a delicious feed of sour candies, and you have no idea why they're there.
The mystery luck charm.
Yeah. There were Sour Patch Kids, there was sour cherry blasts, there were sour jelly beans, there was toxic waste, which, you know, I went to the candy store and said, okay, what's the worst sour candy possible? Because, you know, I was going to take that sacrifice here. Now we'll have to save it for another day. We'll have to call it sour ones or something and just go there.
Yeah, we're going to have to start doing tarot readings up here or something, because this...
Does anybody got a Jobu doll, or can we make a Jobu doll so we can just start giving it peace offerings? Dr. Pepper, I don't know, pepperettes, something.
Forgive us, baseball gods, for we have sinned.
Yes, we're not sacrificing live chickens. But maybe we can get our friends at KFC to give us a bucket or something so we can have a good snack or something up here. Yes, we're referring to the fact we've been over Sundays on the broadcast.
Yeah.
And that one's fouled away here.
it was getting to be a pretty remarkable form of statistical symmetry that was snapped on Friday night until Welland came in here and dropped 14 on the Cardinals, dropped a couple touchdowns on them on Friday.
Yeah.
The Cardinals had yet to lose a Friday night home game. They have yet to win a Sunday afternoon game
Yep.
on the season.
And we were starting to think it was just us. No, it's not just us. It's just some bad luck.
Believe me, I wish it was just us, because then at least we would know. It just becomes more dumbfounding by the week.
Yep. As Garces works with a 2-2 count here with one away. This one is lined to center field pretty deep. Center fielder backpedaling, and he's going to be on the run to make the catch. And Kakatos is retired on the F8. Brandon Nickel will come to the plate now. 0 for 1 in the contest. He flew out to center field in the first inning.
Yeah, that's Brandon Nickel and Nico Kakatos are the only two to make even mildly threatening contact in this one. And Nickel hit a liner at Clayton Keys in center field in the first inning. Kakatos there tried to split the gap, but it hung up too long. Keys had the range to get over there in plenty of time. And Garces gets ahead of Nickel again here. This is just, again, it's always a treat to watch a master of his craft do his thing.
And he will. That one's fouled away by Nickel for strike one.
And in addition to that somewhat tough luck out in the first inning there for Nickel, he's had a couple foul balls straight back to the screen here. Just missing on the timing there. They've been hard hit foul balls, just in the wrong direction.
Yep.
Now he's up against it 0-2 here.
Garces gets the sign. His 0-2 offering. Just misses. Garces was walking off the field, so was the infield here. They thought they had the punch out. But no dice. They have to throw another pitch here. He's at 54 offerings here. At 55 is strikeout number 56 on the season for Frank Garces. Cardinals go away empty-handed here in the fourth inning. It's the Baycats leading this one 2-0 here on Cable 14.
I believe that one puts Garces in the league lead now.
That is, it's 56, so now we'll have to go update the leaderboard again tomorrow morning before we post it with the All-Star votes. The leaders anyways. Yes, lots of numbers going across. And we'll take another quick look at the Addertown scoreboard once again. Kitchener is up 3-0 on the Brantford Red Sox. That one's in the top of the fifth inning, and there's a lot of zeros in that one too. And we'll leave that one at that. We won't jinx somebody else. At Chatham Kent, the Guelph Royals are leading 2-1. That one's in the bottom of the fourth inning. Brandon Dean's on the hill against against the Barnstormers. And up the road in London, top of the seventh inning, the Majors still leading that one 4-2 over the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs trying to snap their two-game losing skid after winning 5 in a row heading into the week. Actually, sorry, that's 3 in a row for the Maple Leafs because Hamilton beat them Wednesday night. And then Guelph took them out to the shed both nights. Well, Friday night, they won 7-4, and then last night 2-1 at Hastings Stadium.
Yeah, Toronto's been a streaky team this year. Their win here a week ago today extended the win streak to 3. And now they've lost 3. The ups and downs.
The ups and downs in the intercounty. But a lot of parity and a lot of home teams losing a lot of baseball games this year. Like, home has not been friendly to a lot of teams.
Yeah, you mentioned that on Friday, and the more I've thought about it, you're right. It's a weird quirk in the early going so far, the home field disadvantage, if you will.
Clayton Keys will lead things off here against against Caleb Sorosky, who's still going here. The Energizer Bunny. But there is activity down in the Cardinals bullpen. Number 25 getting loose down there. That one's in there for a strike on Keys. Count 0-1.
Some exciting news in the Hamilton Cardinals organization developing this weekend. The 22U team is off to nationals. They've had a fantastic early start to their year so far, and it's good to see as the big club tries to make that difficult jump from respectable team to perennial contender. It all is apparently well down in the farm system.
That it is. That one misses outside. Count 1 and 2.
And they were leading the COBA standings, the 22U team was, for most of the season. Congrats to the junior Cards. Hopefully they can make good of their trip here, as back with the big club here at Bernie Arbor, Caleb Sorosky has gone 2 1/3 in this bullpen day, looking for even more here.
Yep.
Done great work so far. Logan Workington is warming up in the Cardinal bullpen. He recorded his first finished game of his IBL career, pitching the 9th inning of that blowout win at Toronto on Wednesday.
That one rattled the camera. I don't think it went off the camera itself, but definitely close enough to rattle it. This whole plate cam shook here. An expensive thing to hit.
Now be careful, Clayton.
We may send you the bill. We're joking. We won't send it to you. Somebody else may. Keys is 0 for 2 in the contest. He struck out Lakeling and grounded out to the shortstop. Working with a 2-2 count here in the top of the 5th inning. Baycats leading this one 2-0. That one just misses low. Keys with the patience of a saint back there. And the count runs to full at 3 and 2.
With this, Sorosky has now completed a trip through the Baycats order. It was, I believe, Keys who he induced the ground out with the bases loaded to end that 2nd inning threat.
That he did.
It's been smooth sailing for Sorosky since. Luis Bernardo signaling down to the Cardinal bullpen as Logan Workington appears ready. Well, might see a pitching change before the inning is up, if that indicates anything.
Keys fouls that one off, stays alive. He's always been a good battler at the plate, that's for sure.
He's got great numbers in his parts of 2 seasons now in the IBL.
3 for 7 coming to action today. 1 home run, 2 RBIs in a very small sample size. Just been here this week, so. I believe he saw action on the last weekend's doubleheader. And he draws the leadoff walk here to start the 5th inning.
And that is indeed going to be the end of the day for Sorosky, responsible for the man on first, but 2 1/3 relief innings here, shutout.
That's all you can ask on a bullpen day. You know, you gotta go get your work done, and give us what you can.
Yeah, fantastic work as Sorosky, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Just the 1 hit. He did his bullpen and his coaching staff a huge favor today. And the Bernie Arbor faithful will show their appreciation.
It's a hug from Chris Bellato as thanks for picking me up here.
Yep.
And now we'll be up to Logan Workington here to trying to keep the status quo here in the 5th inning. And as you mentioned before, there's been the Workington jerseys and the Sorosky jerseys have been flying off the shelves. The family members all en masse buying these jerseys.
Yeah. We mentioned on Friday night how Caleb was not able to have his red nameplate printed on the back of his Thunderbirds jersey because his family bought too many jerseys.
That's just the way.
Great stuff there, and they're showing up in droves again this afternoon, and happy for Caleb that he was able to put on a nice performance for them. As we direct our attention to Logan Workington here, who, as we mentioned, finished off that Cardinals victory in Toronto on Wednesday night. Workington, through 5 2/3 innings, has 7 walks and 7 strikeouts, 6.35 ERA. The stuff is there, but the command can be elusive at times. He's in the zone less than 50% of the time. He does do a decent job in inducing those called strikes and swinging strikes, though. He got one of the highest called strike rates on the staff. Loves that first pitch breaking ball. It's slightly unorthodox, but he gets a lot of takes on that, and if it's in the zone, then that's a lot of free strike runs that the opposing hitters are giving him. Workington had a chaotic third inning of that ridiculous ball game that was played between the Cardinals and Kitchener Panthers a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yes, that one.
He came in and loaded the bases and walked in a run, but then the score was already 7-5 in the third inning, but then he got a huge strikeout looking to end it. Gave way to Stephen Hospital, Jacob Kush, and then Fernando Rodney, who shut the door on them the rest of the way.
That was quite the interesting ball game, that's for sure.
Yeah. That could have been an episode of The Twilight Zone. It was a rather silly one.
First pitch to Macabroda misses inside for ball one. And the only Macabroda has not had any good luck here.
Nope.
But he's had luck everywhere else, so maybe it's just the law of averages. All play out, unfortunately, in this ballpark. As he lines that one through the... Oh, there we go.
Oh.
We're just jinxing everybody. We're breaking every broadcast rule. The throw is not going to be in time at third, but Macabroda with the single here. Runners on the corners now. Nobody away to start the fifth.
Press box strikes again. Nice job by Macabroda. He jumped out 1-0 and then send that one on the ground through the whole right side. Dominguez with a hose to third base trying to gun down Keys, but just a little bit late. And now with nobody out, the Baycats have a golden opportunity to extend this lead.
Tristan Clark 1 for 2 in the contest. Singled and scored a run in his first at bat. Struck out last time against Orosky as he takes ball one outside from Workington.
Workington's a Manitoba native. He made a brief appearance with the Winnipeg Goldeyes of the American Association last summer. 2 1/3 scoreless.
Guess that's a standard cup of coffee. That one's going to be a tough play. They're going to get only one play, and that's going to get the first. Run will come in. It's 3-0 for the Baycats. Clark gets the ground out, 4-3, give him the RBI.
Yeah, that out for a run trade is one that the Cardinals should be happy to make there. Workington, that ball was out of his reach, but a nice job by Jaden Brown to continue to charge it and not give up on the play, as those infield hits were all over the place on Friday night. The Welland Jackers were reaching base, it seemed like every time they put one in play. And the Cardinals do a good job there to get the out despite Keys crossing the plate to make it 3-0.
Yep. Willie Garcia now the batter. A walk and a pop up to the second baseman as everybody's cheering for hot dogs once again as the weenie man up the plate. And first strike one called from Workington on Garcia.
I'm not sure how many Cardinal fans know this, but Workington is a two-way player. He has started one game at first base this year. He hit at JUCO, but pitched during his time at Morningside University at Sioux City, Iowa.
Yes, he did. I wouldn't be surprised, as to give somebody a night off here at some point. Maybe in a blowout situation or a one-sided affair. You wouldn't be surprised to see him at first base or somewhere.
Yeah.
There's now 2 strikes on the weenie man. Not saying Willie Garcia is a weenie or anything, which is a weenie batter. Please don't misconstrue that. I don't want a former major leaguer showing up and yelling at us, please. Especially not in Spanish, because I wouldn't understand what he was saying. Let's not lose that in translation. Sam's probably at home shaking his head listening to the broadcast going, oh man, these two. And I got to yell at my daughter Sam, who was supposed to come join us today, but her room's not clean, so she had to stay home.
Not simple as that.
Yep.
Got to do your chores.
Yep. Dad likes hanging out with you on these car rides. Come on. Just clean your room. That one missing the dirt. Good stop by Rempel here. Keep Macabroda at second base. One away here in the 5th inning. Baycats up 3-0. Scoring 2 in the 2nd inning and 1 in the top of the half of this frame here in the 5th. It's been nothing but Frank Garces against the Cardinals so far in the inner half, and we'll leave it at that. Garcia pops this one high in the air. Brown's got a beat on it. He'll make the catch, 2 away, and no discounted hot dogs this inning yet again.
Yeah, it's not a strikeout, much to the ire of the Bernie Arbor fans, but Workington does a nice job there to induce the pop-out. Men in scoring position, less than 1 out. If you're going to allow a ball in play, just make sure it's not any high-quality contact in that one. Harmlessly way up in the air on the infield. Brown hauls it in, and that's a big second out for Workington and the Cardinals.
Well, I'm sure when he's talking to his buddies tomorrow or something, or he's talking to mom and dad later on tonight, hey, by the way, I got a former major leaguer to pop up today.
Yeah.
That one's in the dirt, and Rempel unable to keep that one in front of him. And Mackie Broda will go to third here on what likely will be scored a wild pitch.
And case in point, if that wild pitch happens before the Garcia pop-out, then you've got a man at third, less than 2 out, but runner moving up to third with 2 gone is not going to have much of an impact on the way the defense does things here. Cardinals just got to focus on the man at the plate.
That they do.
Try and get the bats back in their hands. Looking down to our left here, Stephen Hospital's next man up in the Cardinal bullpen. He's had a very busy weekend. Figures to be next, if this is any indication.
Now, is he okay with us calling him the doctor?
I don't know. I always call him Haas.
Okay.
Just as a, I don't know, it's just where my brain goes first, but
Okay.
I'm sure he's, I mean, I don't know how many other baseball players there are with the last name Hospital. You gotta have some fun with that.
Yeah.
It all writes itself by that point.
Yeah. Like, I'm always worried we give these guys nicknames and then
They don't approve.
Yeah. This one's popped in the air to left field. Pena's got a read on it. He'll make the catch, and the inning is over. Baycats stranded base runner at third base by getting another run to lead this one 3-0. We're going to take a quick pause in the action and visit our friends from Armstrong Birdseed.
Sometimes the littlest things can make the biggest difference. Like nature brightening your day. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong Bird Food. Feeding Cardinals since 1986.
If you'll be my girl, where's your dance move? Ready? Hey! If you'll be my girl, here we go. Here we go.
Bottom of the 5th inning here at Bernie Arbor Stadium. The Barrie Baycats leading your Hamilton Cardinals 3-0 on Canada Day at the ballpark. Neil Sherwoth, Matt Creeley on the call. Cardinals looking for, that very important thing you got to get here if you want to win a baseball game, as Josh Williams will lead things off. Another game in Inter County in the 6th inning has one of those things going on as well. We're not going to jinx those guys. But it is Owen McNeil doing kind of similar thing as Mr. Garces is doing in this one.
Really?
Yes. And Owen McNeil works for Rawlings Canada, no less.
Does he now?
Yeah. I found it out the other day because he exchanged an email with me, and it's like, by the way. A grounder, great stop by Hernandez, throws to first, and it's bobbled by the first baseman. And poor Nate's going to have to make a decision on that one.
Well, it's not in our hands anymore, folks.
No,
that was
not us.
A brilliant play by Brandon Hernandez, nonetheless. You got to tip your cap. That ball was absolutely smoked at him, and he nearly took him out, but as he's going down, he's able to corral it, but the off-balance throw to first not in time, and the Cardinals finally have a base runner.
They have a base runner. And now we'll wait for the official scorer's ruling on that one.
I believe I just heard Josh behind me saying E3.
And that one is caught by the center fielder. And Williams will go back to first with Tyler Duncan with one away here.
Boy, there are some scoring plays where I just wouldn't know what to put, but I do think the error on Maciabroda is a good call there.
Well, you can even just tell by Maciabroda's body language on that one. He knew that was on him.
And of course, not many circumstances where Barrie Baycats faithful will be hoping that an error is the call, but
that one they're probably cheering at home, going, "Yes, that's the right call."
Yep.
How can we get Nate a soda or something? As a thank you. No, I've been in Nate's situation actually against the Barrie Baycats in Guelph a couple years ago. Like I mentioned before, it went to the 8th inning, where Kevin Atkinson finally broke up the no-hitter, and it was the one of the games where we were down a PA announcer and everything else, so we didn't have the broadcast. We were one of the first broadcasts in the league back then, so it was just like I opted not to broadcast that game. I was kicking myself for it ever since. This one's up the middle, and that's a no-doubter. Duncan will break it open here. Almost took Garces out in the process. Just hit a liner up the middle and almost took Garces out in the midsection.
And that ball is still just jumping off the bat of Tyler Duncan. Took that one right back to its origin point. He scalded it on the ground into center field, and thankfully that weird play on the infield is not going to hang in the balance.
Nope, not anymore.
No doubt about that one. Tyler Duncan, lefty no less, breaks it up.
That's pretty much how I got off the hook too. It was just like there was a play, and this one's hitting the line in the left field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. That's going to load the bases as Ripley's got himself a single, and the bases are full of Cardinals with the conductor coming into play.
Yeah, how about Tanner Rempel there? First pitch ambush, staying on the pitch away and floating it into left field. And charging was the Barrie Baycats left fielder Tristan Clark, but decided it was wise to let it fall in front of him and play the bounce. How about the opportunity John Salazzo has now too?
Yep. If you're Salazzo in this situation, you just got to try to touch some green or get something in the outfield here, at least get a run across. Break the goose egg here against Garces. First pitch misses low for a ball. As Garces is just towing the rubber and getting back in here, but Salazzo wisely steps out and forces Frank to work on his timeline.
Garces 41 strikes, 20 balls to this point in the game.
That one misses low. Now he's overthrowing a little bit, you can just tell. The ball's definitely coming back into the glove a lot louder, a lot more oomph behind it, but yes.
Wise by Salazzo to be protective here. Make him come back to you. Prove that he can handle pitching with the bases loaded.
There's a chopper at the second base. One's going to get through. And that's going to score a pair of runs. Bobbled by the right fielder as well. Two come across. It's a one-run ball game here. A tough hop by the second baseman. Nothing he could do on that one. He was trying to get it between hops and it just spun away from him.
We've been talking about it so much. Just put the ball in play. Salazzo got himself into a nice count and hit it on the ground. He was probably looking to drive it in the air, but on the screws, and it eats up Alex Wickett. Into right field it goes, and the Cardinals didn't have a base runner for the first 4 innings of this ballgame, but they've gotten a few in rapid succession here, playing nice station-to-station ball, and Jaden Brown, next man up, going to try and keep it going.
There's a huge hole in that right side if Brown can punch it through here.
And he's shown the ability to do just that before.
Pops this one in the air, but it's going to go out of play, and Some youngsters chasing down that fly ball here. 3-2 is your score now. Here in the home half of the fifth inning, and Garza's just having a rough outing. Come undone maybe, but it's Frank Garza's. Runner going on the pitch, and that's hit out to shortstop. Hernandez is only going to have the one play. It's a force out there. They're going to throw to first, and they keep it in the infield as the Salazzo with the slide, taking out the youngster, Wickett at second base, and just making sure he's okay.
Well, thankfully, that interaction was very civil out there at second base. You never want to see a...
No, and that wasn't an intentional trying to take you out. Or
No,
out. He was
obviously
just sliding
not.
into the base.
Yeah.
Stepping up to the plate, the left fielder, number 12.
I got to tip my cap once again to Brandon Hernandez, as that ball was deep in the hole. He had to sit way back on it, and even to get the out at 2 is a nice play. He didn't have much time. Salazzo was charging into second, but they do get it, and Yoki Pena is going to try and keep this going. Tanner Rempel moves up to third on the play.
And Jaden Brown's at first now. Runners in the corners, 2 away. And Yoki up the bat here. Takes a strike here from Garces. Check swing, they go around. The appeal says he did not. And the count's even at 1-1 on Yoki Pena. Refreshing point streak because we found out the hard way Friday night. We thought we had game one in extra innings. It didn't. That one's outside, and that's going to be likely a stolen base on Jaden Brown. Or it could be defensive indifference, but Plumpton did get up and looked like he was ready to throw, but he realized where the runner at third was as well, so that one's unnamed. To an offering on its way. This is upstairs. It's 3-1. A very long inning for Frank Garces here. Cardinals doing their best to be patient to play. Garces up now up to 70 pitches in the ball game. Here into the fifth inning. 3-1 offering is in there for a called strike. Pena watched it all the way into the glove of Plumpton. And now we'll work with a full count here. And 2 away. Nobody whatsoever down in the Baycats bullpen, so it's on Frank today. At least for this half inning anyways. 3-2 offering. This is low for ball 4. Now to load the bases here. And not even a mound visit or anything in this situation. Manager Josh Matlow just trusting his ace to work his way out of this.
Number 10, Nico Cacados.
As Nico Cacados will be the batter now, 0 for 2 in the contest. A strikeout and a flyout in the fourth inning. Cardinals sending 7 batters to the plate so far in the inning. Cacados hits one at the second baseman. It takes another weird hop, but Wickett able to recover on this one. And now they end the inning. Cardinals show signs of life here. Strike back for 2 after the Baycats increased lead to 3-2. As we head to the top of the 6th inning, it's 3-2 for the Baycats here on Cable 14.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Top of the sixth inning here at Barrie Arbor Stadium. Now is a 3-2 ball game. The Barrie Baycats now clinging to that one-run lead as the doctor has come into the ball game for the Cardinals. Stephen Hospital now on the hill as Matt Creeley and Neil Sherwaster are on the call for you. Matt, the doctor's got some work to do.
He does. The stakes just got a little higher as the Cardinals have 3-0 deficit now, 3-2. Hospital coming in 500 spot once again. So a lot of high-end talent in this league. Normally I just try and vouch to vote for whoever. There's
Only 2 relief pitcher voting spots in that all-star ballot there, but if you're going to vote for anybody, please do. I implore you fans at home to find a way to get Stephen Hospital to this all-star game, because through 10 2/3 this year, he has struck out 15 batters, walked 0, with an ERA of 0.00.
There you go.
At the risk of summoning another announcer's jinx, he has been just as lights out as it gets in that Cardinal bullpen. And
Can we possibly jinx anybody else? Like, come on. Like, the law of averages have been working against us all year.
just another huge outing for Hospital on Thursday night on the way to the Cardinals win at Welland 3-2.
That one's in there for a strike, and the count is now 3-1 on the batter.
Let's go Cardinals! Let's go Cardinals! Let's go Cardinals!
Tyler Plumpton. Plumpton pops this one, but foul. And a run to count the full at 3-2.
We talk about the bond that Stephen Hospital and Zach Cameron shared, both Niagara U graduates and two of the most long-time relief pitchers in their school system there, and then they both became Hamilton Cardinals last summer, and it's as though Hospital started pitching with twice the conviction when Cameron left.
Yeah, that one is lined in the gap. That's going to get down. Plumpton will have a leadoff single here for the Baycats in the 6th inning. After the Cardinals rallied for 2 runs in the 5th inning and really just seemed to have Frank Garces on the ropes there.
It's still all quiet on the Western Front out there in that Baycats bullpen.
And that happens in this situation. Of course, you know, when you got a veteran like Frank pitching, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of just let him go and do his own thing, and he'll tell you when he's done.
He's more than earned the benefit of the doubt.
Yep. Sam McCoy says he's making dinner, but he's got some questions for us when he gets back. So now I'm kind of worried. There's a bunted ball here. Great bunt down. They're going to have only one play, and they get the runner at first on the sac fly, but a flat bunt by Wickett. That was a just well-placed baseball. Great job by Wickett to get the runner over. Plumpton moves up to second base as the Baycats trying to get an insurance run here in the 6th inning.
Now, well done on all fronts there as
Sack 5-4, if I'm not mistaken. As the full wheel was on, and Nate yelling I'm just acknowledging that in the back here. And Noel McGarry Doyle will be the batter now.
just a fantastic play by Salazzo to get there and throw to first in time despite the well-executed bunt by Wickett.
That one misses inside on Noel McGarry Doyle for ball 1. Hospital looks for the sign. His 1-0 offering is inside again, and it's 2-0 on Noel McGarry Doyle.
Sometimes as a defense, you got to pick your pitchers up, and Hospital has saved multiple games for the Cardinals this year out of the bullpen, and Salazzo does a great job to get him the out there on that bunt play by Wickett.
It's chopped at the second baseman. Brown up with it. He recovers in time, throws to first. McGarry Doyle retired, but the runner goes to third here. And 2 away.
Stepping up to the plate to shortstop, number 11, Brandon Hernandez.
They bring up Brandon Hernandez, who's made a couple of great plays in that last half inning. 0 for 2 in the contest with a walk. Did homer yesterday, his first of the season. Surprisingly, with all those numbers he had last year and everything else, not a lot of home runs, but a lot of RBIs, and a ridiculously high batting average in the postseason.
Yeah, he's more than making up for it.
Hospital starts him off with a strike. Count is 1-1. Top of the 6th inning, he just jumped in. Baycats had a 3-0 lead before the Cardinals answered back with 2 in the home half of the 5th inning. Not so long ago. This one's chopped. And it's going to go off the glove. Deflected to Brown. He throws to first. Hospital unable to get to it. And Hernandez does butts over tea kettle down the line. As he tries to get to the base, okay. Run will come home. It's now a 4-2 ball game.
And it's a very unfortunate way for the scoreless streak to end for Stephen Hospital.
That it is.
Certainly deserved to be out of the inning there, but just a couple hops. Couldn't make it work.
And he couldn't. And Clayton Keys will be the batter now. He walked his last time up, came around to score. Hospital's offering. This is outside for a ball. Rempel up with it quickly. Keep Hernandez at first. Hospital has a good look over Hernandez. Looks over once again before getting the sign here from Rempel. Pitch in there for a strike on Keys. Evens the count at 1-1. Officially be a single and an RBI. It's not fortunately, not much you could do on that play. The ball was deflected off the first baseman to the second baseman, and then the throw just not in time to get the speedster Hernandez down the line. That one misses outside. Rempel keeps it in front of him, and the count is 2-1 now. 4-2 is the score now. Baycats scoring again here to increase the lead. The important insurance run is across in the inning. That one's in there for a called strike. Key's not liking that one, but now he's just trying to remind himself what he's got to do with the bat here. You see the arm motions. And the count is 2-2 with 2 away. Two offering. Check swing. They're going to peel down to first and unfortunately not get anywhere. Got to run the count to full at 3-2, and Hernandez will be in motion on Hospital's delivery to the plate. Seems to have lost Matt's microphone again, so he's going to adjust himself here momentarily. 3-2 offering. Is strike 3 called. Keys goes down looking. Thought it was on the outer half here, but that's across. And Hospital gets out of the inning. But the Baycats get a run here to increase their lead to 4-2 as they head to the home half of the 6th inning. We come back here on Cable 14.
You want to stay or you want to go? Both ways. You want to stay or you want to go? I can see it from here. You're good.
My first professional glove, that's the one I remember the most. When I was coming up, even though it wasn't that long ago, having your name on a glove was a big deal.
Bottom of the sixth inning here at Burning Arbor Stadium in a 4-2 ball game. The Barrie Baycats leading the Hamilton Cardinals on Canada Day at the ballpark. Thank you so much for joining us, Matt Crilly, Neil Sherwastra on the call. Thank you for tuning in wherever you may be watching this afternoon.
Is my mic back on, Neil? Oh, there we go.
There we go. It's fixed.
There we
Not
go.
Sure what it was. As Brandon Nickel hits a shortstop at his counterpart here, and one away. Hernandez looks like he's. Oh, he broke something. His glasses, maybe?
Yeah. Up to the plate, the designated hitter, number 8, Josh Williams.
As Josh Williams will come to the plate now. Williams reached on an error last inning to start the inning.
Looking out to our right, Neil, it looks like we've got a familiar face in right field now as former Cardinal Andrew Johnston has subbed in right field for the Barrie Baycats.
Yep, AJ's taken in the field here. Talked to him briefly before the game. Making sure he's coming back to the University of Guelph because we need a catcher.
First things first, Mr. Johnston.
Yes, first things first. How are you? And by the way, you're coming back, right? Like, because, you know, just got used to calling you every day. Of course, new head coach at the University of Guelph, Matt Stocco, the former San Diego Padres farmhand, a kid I used to coach, now the head coach of the Guelph Griffins. So, yeah, it's definitely making me feel old.
Well, the Neil Sherwastra talent pipeline continues to flourish here.
I don't know about that. I just was very, very fortunate to work with a lot of young kids that had a lot of talent. As Williams fouls that one off, and it's 1-2 the count here. The other game that had a 0 going across is now broken up as well. That one got broken up in the bottom of the 7th inning. Renee Takioka with a double off the fence.
He's quietly put together a nice little season for those Red Sox.
He has.
Another one of the Ottawa Titans rejects.
I will say rejects, you know, just...
I guess there's a better way to put it, but
yeah. He
just couldn't find a sure spot on the team there, and off to the IBL he went, and he's been a staple there for the Red Sox at the top of their order. He plays a nice center field, too. A Japanese import.
That one misses low, and the count is 3-2 on Williams. Cardinals are definitely taking a very patient approach against Frank Garces this afternoon.
That's what you got to do. You just can't let him get comfortable. And, yeah, he fills up the zone, but he does try to induce chase in a lot of those pitches as well, and you just can't give in on those pitchers' pitches and give him what he wants.
As they say that, and Williams
right
chase.
On you. And another great use of the quick pitch there by Garces on a full count. I'm sure Williams is trying to stay as locked in as possible timing-wise.
Does somebody out there have a Uno reverse card we can use? Like, we need the biggest one we can find here. Just plop it down on the table here.
As we've been talking about for about the past month on this broadcast, if anyone has some fortune teller, you know,
something,
and any you know, ridiculous tools like that can help us alter the hands of time and fate here in this booth, we will take any and all suggestions.
Yes, like, you know, do I have to start eating the filet of fish sandwich again? I don't know. Whatever it is, do I have to? I don't know. Something's got to give here.
I'm sure if the sour candy comes back next week.
No, that's assuming the kids didn't eat it all on the stairs.
I'm holding out hope.
Yeah, well, we'll have to rebuy more, but that's fine. We'll do that. But it's just like, okay, you know. They're probably sitting there going, my God, there's all this candy on the stairs. What's it for?
What are you supposed to do? Not eat it?
Yeah, exactly. They're kids. Come on. It's gone. Just let it go. I didn't specifically label it as Dad's candy. Do not touch. I should have. Like, I guarantee if it's still on the stairs, it's going to get consumed by that person right down there anyways. She loves those things.
Oh, no one is safe.
No. Like, those are her favorite things, and then she just laughs at the faces I make when I eat the darn things because I don't do sour candy well.
I'm with you on that. It tastes good, but it's, man, is it tough sometimes. The sour is too much to take. You ever try those Warheads?
Oh, don't tell me you started on Warheads. When we were doing a lot of streaming on Mixer and everything else, when we were partnered up there during the NHL games, my community was able to hit the buttons and whatever else, and every time I took a penalty, I had to do a Warhead. And I think
come on.
Yeah.
That's not nice.
No. At one point, I think I had 5 in my mouth at one time, and my mouth the next day was just, no, it was awful.
Once upon a time, young Matt Creeley in middle school saw a kid on the school bus eating Warheads and thought, oh, I'll try one of those. That was the first and last time that ever happened.
No. A big swing and a miss here by Dominguez. And runs the count to full at 3-2 here.
Dominguez had an up and down start to his IBL tenure, slashing 275, 310, 325. Probably looking to do a little more in the slugging department.
He heard you.
Well, he'd give it his best shot.
Yep.
Up in the air, but ends the inning.
That's the inning. 3 up, 3 down. The Cardinals go here in the 6th inning, and Frank Garces walking off the mound here. Interesting to see if he gets a high five. So I think he's not done. There's still nobody warming up anywhere remotely down there. So Frank might have told him to tell the bullpen to take the day off or something here.
Yeah, you almost knew it was going to shake out this way too today. If you're the Cardinals, on Tuesday night, the Baycats rolled out a Johnny Holstaff day at the Gulf Royals, and then yesterday it was Juan Benitez getting the start. So
yep.
You knew it was going to be the big guns today, and Garces is just letting it eat out there. That's 6 innings, and despite the longer 5th, he's sent 86 pitches, so you figure he's got at least one more good inning in him.
Yep, well, exactly.
And now on the mound for the Cardinals will be Inspector Gadget.
I'll get you, Gadget. Next time. I had to go there, I'm sorry. I've been saving that one for too long. That was usually my cue to get off to school. When that old 1990s Dick cartoon would show up on global television at 8 o'clock in the morning. Pretty much that was the catchphrase going out the door. You could just hear it going off in the background, and it's like, okay, time to go to work. Time to go to school. And off we walk to school.
Yeah. Sounds like Gadget has some family here as well. Got a nice rousing ovation there as he was announced into the game. Gadget made his season debut against these Baycats on Friday, May the 30th. He was tasked to save the game. He entered with a score 3-1 for the Cardinals in the top of the 9th, but he had just gotten off a plane, practically, coming back home, so his timing and mechanics weren't all there. He gave up a couple hard hit balls, and Caleb Sorosky had to come in and save the day, but ever since then, Gadget has been his usual lights-out self. It was just great news for the Cardinals brass to hear late in the winter that he was, in fact, going to be returning to the team. Just to have that extra power lefty makes a world of difference out in that bullpen. Last season, all the advanced metrics were sparkling, induced a lot of swing and miss, was able to blow it by hitters in the zone without much consequence. He was the best on the team at putting guys away once he got to 2 strike counts. If you get to strike 2 against Jacob Gadget, there's chances are pretty low you're going to see the light of day beyond that, as his Cardinals track record would indicate. And now he's on here as we enter the 7th inning, trying to preserve the lead. And it's the first time Tanner Rempel's caught him this year, so he's going to go out and probably discuss signs or something. One more
exactly.
time.
Say, hey, what sign set are we working with here? Because I'm not used to seeing you throw anything. And by the way, what do you throw?
What's your name? I'm Tanner.
Yes, I know who he is, but it's just like, hey man, what do you throw?
Just gotta establish that rapport between pitcher and catcher is so crucial, especially in the late innings of a game, that communication is on point as the bullpen tries to keep the Baycats at bay. I realized midway through that sentence, Baycats at bay.
Yep. There you go. Of course, there's some discussions. I'm not sure if they're still actively going on in Barrie and everything else, but they definitely wanted to get a new stadium for the team and everything else. And of course, it was rumored that it was on the lakeshore or on the lakefront anyways. So it'd be a great place to have one. If they could make it work. This one's hit to center field, and Duncan is not going to be able to get to that baseball, and Matt Cabroda is on his horse, and I think he's figured out how to hit in this ballpark. Back-to-back hits from Matt Cabroda now.
It was Gadget that Matt Cabroda had his one prior hit this season at Bernie Arbor. As we said, it was a boatload of strikeouts head-to-head against the Cardinals for Matt Cabroda coming into this one, but the one hit he managed was that double in the top of the 9th off Gadget in that game on May the 30th, and he's got another one here, so maybe he's just got his number.
Maybe. It's Tristan Clark now, the batter. Clark's got an RBI, a single, a run scored, and a strikeout in the afternoon. Chatham Kent has come back on the Guelph Royals and he lead that one. That one's going to be up and over the head of the shortstop. Clark's got himself another hit. And it's now runners at first and third now for the Baycats here in the 7th inning.
Brandon Nickel doing his best Fernando Tatis Jr. impression, trying to get that double jump up there at shortstop, but ball was just out of his reach. As Tristan Clark just keeps on stringing those hits together, as that batting average, as we said, is on a meteoric rise the past couple of weeks. And that, of course, is on top of everything he's doing in the field. So it's a prime run-scoring opportunity for Willie Garcia, but Cardinal fans know what that means.
Yeah.
Be a wonderful time for Gadget to get his first out of this appearance.
Garcia hits his liner at the first baseman, goes off the glove, and they're going to have to flip the first. Another run will come home. Garcia gets the ground ball RBI. 3-1 goes to put out as Mackie Broda comes home to score. And Tristan Clark goes to second base. 1 away now.
Does appear that we will be seeing Connor Corey once again, as he probably had a few bullets left in the tank after that somewhat premature ejection on Friday. That, of course, was one of the million things that went wrong for the Hamilton Cardinals in the top of the 5th. Well, Jackfish hung 10 on them that inning.
This one is hit in the center field again. Duncan not able to get to that one. That's going to score another run. And the Baycats are starting to blow this one open here in the 7th inning. It's now 5-2. Or sorry, 6-2.
Well, once again, the Baycats, lefty-righty, doesn't matter. They're seeing Gadget well, not sure what it is, but the splits are pretty dramatic this year in the early going. Gadget versus the Baycats compared to Gadget versus everybody else. They've been swinging early in counts this inning, which is what they did against him on his first appearance of the year, and maybe that's the play against Gadget, because
just don't let him get comfortable.
Yeah, you can't.
The owner of La Bodeguita. Tell us about this place.
Well, this place got founded when I was 3 years old. Just kind of took it over from my parents. We've been providing Hamilton with all the Latin American products we can. We give them all the fresh cuts that are hard to get everywhere else, all the fresh food, make everything as fresh as humanly possible, nice and high quality.
That's amazing. So I see you guys have some products that you make inside here in-house, and then you also have some great imports. There's so many things I want to try here. You've got the butcher shop, you've got takeout going, and there's just so many great products. However, I am very excited today. You do have some snacks I do want to try. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Yeah, so these are Salvadorian pupusas. It's like, imagine like a thicker tortilla. Inside it'll have ground pork and cheese. And then on top is a topping called curtido. It's imagine coleslaw, but without all the mayo and all the stuff that makes it a little thicker. This is a little colder and goes on top.
Okay, should we try it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. That is so good. Really hot and fresh. Amazing. Okay, well, I'm going to keep working on these. And thank you so much for having us.
Of course.
Well, I finally have everything I need. I'll see you next time somewhere in Hamilton.
And welcome back, folks. Sorry for the camera troubles. The old girl decided to give it up the goat a little bit here, but yes, the Baycats are now leading this one 6-2. Willie Garcia with an RBI, Noah Hull with a single, Tyler Plumpton with a single. Then Alex Wickett hit into an unconventional 9-3 double play as Tyler Plumpton forgot how many outs it was in the inning and got thrown out at second. It got doubled off on the flyout as far as that stuff goes. But our apologies, something happened out in the down below us here beyond our control. But great to have you guys back up on the screen anyways and back with us. So to the 7th inning stretch, Frank Garces still out on the hill, and nobody whatsoever warming up down that bullpen. So Frank's pretty much told everybody it's probably my game to win or lose here. By the sounds of it anyways, at least to this point. Sam O'Coin saying, yep, they're back, so we're going to show everybody else and the truck downstairs and everything else. Our apologies. You didn't miss much. Baycats did get 2 more runs across in that inning. And the Baycats just taking advantage of bullpen day on the Cardinals a little bit. Tyler Duncan will lead things off in the home half of the 7th inning. So we'll take another quick gander at the out-of-town scoreboard. Kitchener Panthers still leading that one 3-0. Just the 1 hit so far for the Red Sox. It's been Owen McNeil all the way through here, and of course, as you know, he's definitely having back-to-back weeks as a contestant, and you know, for making a case for himself for pitcher of the week again.
Is that Kitchener-Brantford game at Arnold Anderson?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say that makes sense because if we saw 6 no-hit innings at Jack Couch Park, that.
Yeah, just call it media. But of course, I'm pretty sure Jack Couch Park is pretty occupied this weekend. It's the Junior 22U tournament going on for the OBA eliminations as well. So yeah.
So that's where the Junior Cardinals are. I was wondering as we were talking about that where that event was being held. Well,
yep.
I guess now we know.
And Chatham Kent, as we mentioned before, has retaken the lead over the Guelph Royals. Those Chatham Kent Barnstormers, they are definitely contending here. And I'm just like I was questioning, is it possible to peak too early in this year? But they're definitely playing like, you know, they ain't going anywhere quickly.
And as we've talked about with them before, you don't want to peak too early, but they dug themselves a bit of a hole to start the year. They've been white hot since the start of June.
Yeah. And you can't discount the job that Gil Rendon has done with that team.
Absolutely not.
Like he's got the pitching staff in line, and he's got the guys on the field believing in themselves. And they were down a lot yesterday. They rallied back. They were down against London and rallied back. They were down again today to the Guelph Royals. Lo and behold, they got a 4-2 lead now. They just have it. They have it going on all cylinders right now.
You know, we talked about them on Friday. Just whenever they play the Cardinals, they've been a very well-oiled machine. They're not missing a beat on defense, situational play, things like that, bunting and running. They make it. All those infielders, they charge at the ball like it's their last play of their lives. And
well, exactly. And even you saw it last night too. The guys were running out baseballs and everything else that, you know. They gave up 5 home runs yesterday. They were all solo shots, but you know, they found ways back in the ball games and took advantage of the Panthers' errors and miscues.
There's something to be said about winning teams. They play for each other, and it does seem like that's what the Barnstormers do, at least from what we've seen of them here in Hamilton.
As Duncan fouls off another one to stay alive here against Garces. Duncan broke up the unofficial no-hitter with a liner up the middle. Not so long ago.
Duncan's been doing it against the top pitching this weekend. He clobbered a solo home run off Ben Abram on Friday night, and then the hard single off Garces last time up, but the rest of the Cardinals have not been able to follow suit, unfortunately. They did manage 8 runs at the end of the day when it was all said and done on Friday. Most of that came in garbage time.
Yeah. But no, if we can get Duncan hot and you can get some other guys going too, it's going to be definitely a more interesting July for sure as we close out June here. As he hits this one pretty well to right field, but it's going to stay in the yard, and the right fielder will make the catch. That's Johnson out and right. He makes the catch, and Duncan is retired on the F9 to start the 7th inning here.
Johnston retiring his old teammate Duncan there. Noel McGarry Doyle, by the way, has moved from right to center, so it was Clayton Keys that Andrew Johnston replaced.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch that when he first jogged out to the field.
Keys was having a rough day at the plate, so, you know, it's time to give the youngster a shot.
I'm sure Johnston was motivated, too, to take the field at his old stomping grounds.
I'm sure he was. It's great to see Malik Williams actually on the bench for the Baycats.
Yeah, it is.
Fortunately, he's done for the year with an MCL tear. Or as everybody was joking, you know, Josh gave his brother his bad legs as Rempel comes through with another single here, showing no fear against Garces.
Another nice job by Rempel there of not keeping it simple at the plate. He's just those low liners and not necessarily barreling them, but he's keeping his bat through the zone long enough against Garces to do just enough damage to reach base. And yeah, as you were talking about with Williams, it's obviously super unfortunate news, and you never want to see, especially a talent like himself, go down with a long-term injury like that. But nice to see his spirits are high. He's still on the bench.
Yep. Salazzo takes strike one here. Of course, Ryan Rio out of the lineup as well for the Baycats for the season, unfortunately. And, you know, it's not going to be the same having him on the bench and everything else, but he's going to be part of this team. He's very much going to be with the coaching staff as much as possible. And Salazzo swings and misses of that one. But yeah, he was off to a great start, and you know, it's probably it's for the right reasons to step aside at this time and just, you know, take care of health first and being here long term, especially when you got a wedding coming up and everything else too. So glad they caught it and hoping for the best here.
It's easy to forget, but at any level, there's always more important things in baseball.
There is.
You know, these are people's lives we're talking about, and can't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Yep. You know, okay, we got 3 guys going down to the bullpen finally here.
Now, one of them is Chris Lazar,
who pitched yesterday, so I don't know if he's he might throw.
I was going to say.
He likes pitching here. As Salazzo goes down swinging and drops the bat here. That one just slipped out of his hand, I'm sure.
Stepping up to the plate, the second baseman, number 6.
And Jaden Brown will get with it, with Duncan still at first and now 2 away.
And it looks like one of the other relievers that trotted out to the Baycats bullpen is former Cardinal, albeit briefly, Ramon Henriquez. That ball was hit his way.
Nobody is throwing. They're just down to the bullpen so they can, you know, make themselves look like they're doing something right now. So Frank is definitely going to go out to start the 8th inning. Or more just, you know, window dressing down there while Frank's on the hill here. A big swing and a miss by Brown on that one, and he's behind the count 0-2. Final in from Labatt Park, the London Majors defeating the Toronto Maple Leafs 6-3. So the Majors have reclaimed their share of second place all by themselves right now, pending the outcome of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers and Guelph Royals game.
And I'm sure Chatham's going to have something to say about that here.
Power rankings are going to look really different this week.
No, they're not. They're not making it easy to develop a power rankings here with the constant turnover we've had in the standings.
It's like they just take the hourglass and ship it upside down and go, here, have fun with it. Have fun with that one.
Just pick teams out of a hat.
Yep.
Who wants top spot this week?
Yep. As Brown swings and misses at that one, another punch out for Garces, and he's thanking the sky up there, so I'm guessing he's done at the end of this inning here. We'll see when he comes off the field officially, though. If it's a hug and a handshake, or is it just another high five? If it's a high five, he's going to keep going. I'm thinking he is, I don't know.
Looks like they're deliberating about it.
Yeah.
He's at 105 pitches right now.
I think he's done then. I don't think there's no reason to put him back out there for another inning.
No, they've extended the lead enough that it's justifiable to not have to lean on him that much.
Hey, Frank, we got 4 runs up for you here, so, you know, let the bullpen take over.
Yeah, great job by the offense, by the way, of the Barrie Baycats. And again, it wasn't pretty. It was kind of scratching and clawing, runs across, moving guys over, and trading outs for runs and that sort of thing. But after the Cardinals stormed back and had that nice inning against Garces to cut the lead to 3-2, the Baycats immediately responded with a run in the top half of the 6th, and then 2 more in the 7th. So 6-2 is your score here as Connor Corey enters the game for the Hamilton Cardinals.
And Connor Corey takes over, and Frank Garces, if his day is done, it's 9 strikeouts on the day, so it's up to 59 on the season. So he's got the lead back.
Yeah, that he does.
He's got the lead back. But yeah, is that enough of an cushion? That's how Boone pitches on Friday? Sure.
And just the one free pass for Garces, I believe?
Yeah, just the one.
Yep. I'm always a sucker for a good strikeout to walk ratio, so on the season now that's 59-7 for Garces, and that's just
ridiculous.
Chef's kiss right there.
I almost want to learn Spanish just so I can have a conversation and just ask what goes through his head when he's out in the hill here, because it's all business all the time.
Yeah.
But when he's off the bench, like when he's on the bench, he's trouble, apparently. So,
Oh, is he?
Yeah, apparently he's razzing at our teammates. He's yelling at people in Spanish across the diamonds. Well, you saw that when Rodney was yelling at him here in when the Baycats were here that one night.
Yeah, and I'm sure those two are familiar with each other. They were both briefly major leaguers at the same time. And, I mean, I don't blame Garces. You're only starting once a week. You got to make yourself heard.
And apparently, according to Sam, by the body language down on the bench here, because we can't see it from up here, but he was like pleading with him and everything else.
Trying to please
negotiate.
Stay in?
Pleading to stay in, yes. Let me get one more. Come on, I want to get to 60.
You always got to love a guy who wants it. And
yeah. But at the same time, you don't want to burn him out here, too. We've got a lot of baseball coming up. We're only getting to July here, Frank. We want you in September again. Is this a ground ball hit to the first baseman? Williams up with it.
Oh, it's Luis Bernardo over there now.
Bernardo, okay.
Quick defensive sub for the Cardinals as Poppy takes his first digs at first base this year. He's done that on occasion before.
Yeah.
Up to the plate, the shortstop, number 11, Brandon Hernandez.
Got the night off from catching, so might as well go do something else. It's Brandon Hernandez will bat now with one away. Hernandez with a clutch RBI in the 6th inning. And some great defensive plays. So he pops this one foul and out of play. And the count is 0-1 on Hernandez.
On the season, Connor Corey has given up 4 earned runs in 6 1/3 innings. That comes out to an ERA of 5.68. He's got 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, and there's been a couple little annoyances that have been a thorn in his side when he's pitched, I find, this year. Like the infield hits bug has got him sometimes, and the ejection on Friday night also threw a wrench into things.
Well, I guess Garces won the argument because whoever was down there has been told to sit down. I can only imagine the conversation, though. If I'm Josh Matlin, it's like, hey, Frank, you're done. I'm going to walk away now, so you can't talk me back into this thing. But I'm sure Garces, being the wily veteran he is, he probably just, politely nudged the manager and said, no, I got one more.
And you see that in Major League Baseball sometimes. Max Scherzer, Garrett Cole, competitive guys like that, they always are pleading with their managers to stay in the game, and Frank Garces is the equivalent of that here in the IBL, so he's definitely earned the right to plead his case and appears to have won.
Hernandez hits this one on the screws, but it's going to be a little too high up there, and it's going to be caught by the left fielder, Pena, for the 2nd of the inning.
Stepping up to the plate, the right fielder, number 29, Andrew Johnston.
Andrew Johnston, the batter now. His first at bat against his former team.
Well, exchanging pleasantries with Tanner Rempel as he steps up to the plate. First road AB for AJ back at Barrie Arbor.
He was also the first one in the dugout for the Baycats because the Baycats bus was a little late and the other guys that were driving weren't here yet. He had nobody to throw batting practice to him. And of course, he was with the junior team in Kitchener this weekend as well, so definitely getting his work there.
Yeah, staying busy even though he wasn't starting this one.
That one's in there for a strike. And the count is 0-2 on Andrew Johnston.
No former Cardinal is safe from the wrath of PA and music guy Josh Bain.
Nope.
Sound effects will rain down on you if you're not careful.
Johnson goes swinging and missing that one. Connor Corey gets the punch out to end the inning. And the Cardinals will come to bat here. We're going to take a quick look at the All-Star game. Once again, we'll remind you, you can get your tickets for July 20th here at Barrie Arbor Stadium. But watch the video. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Barrie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com. Because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Stepping onto the plate, the left fielder, number 12, Yoki Pena.
Yoki Pena will lead things off in the bottom of the 8th inning here. The Cardinals down 6-2 against the Barrie Baycats, and somehow he pled his case and he won again. Frank Garces is still on the hill here, and nobody is throwing down that bullpen. I don't understand it, but you know, it's Frank, so it was probably a polite conversation, and it was probably a lot of no's. And they were all coming from Mr. Garces. No, I'm not done. No, I'm not ready to come out. I'm having fun. As Yoki Pena swings and misses at that one, the count is 1-1 now.
Was not what he was looking for up there, and that was pitch number 107 on the night for Garces, so we'll see how long he can push this. I'm sure it'll be through the rest of the inning. I know it's been a topic of conversation before, but it bears repeating what Frank Garces did last playoffs for these Barrie Baycats. 4 starts, 3-0, 29 innings, 32 Ks, 6 walks, ERA of .93.
As Pena takes a called strike there, and that count is even at 2-2.
And the veteran leadership, the imports carrying that Barrie rotation, they spearheaded one of the more dominant playoff runs in IBL history.
Yeah.
They didn't lose a single game. They swept every series, won 10 in a row on their way to another Dominico Cup title, back on top after a few years away from the summit.
As Pena goes down, and that's 10 punch-outs for Mr. Garces here. Yeah, I'm referred to him as Mr. anymore. I don't think I should give him this first name anymore. I don't think I've earned that right anymore. And it's been just a masterful performance by one of the veterans here in this league, that's for sure. But yes, of course, the Baycats last year going 10-0, and of course, the last franchise to do it was, of course, the Barrie Baycats in 2017 too. So it's just been, you know, those guys went out on a mission last year. They lost the finals the year before to the Lone Jackfish and just seemed to have that chip on their shoulder that carried all the way through that postseason.
Yeah.
And you can't discount the job that Josh Matlow had to do to put that lineup back together. Of course, he took over the reins once the Angus Roy days were done and everything else, and pretty much a lot of guys left when Angus left. So He had an empty cupboard and had to restock the shelves. That one misses outside. Counts 2-1 on Bernardo here. Getting a chance to see his countryman up close and personal. I'm sure these guys have had some epic battles over the time.
And it's funny with speaking of that playoff run, is
that one's going to be caught by the left fielder, Tristan Clark. Bernardo is retired.
Barrie obviously deserved that Dominico Cup victory, but it kind of came out of nowhere. In the regular season, it's not like they were dominant. They weren't the top seed or anything. They had a very similar record to a lot of those other playoff teams, and every time they played the Cardinals, it was a very tightly contested ball game, it felt like, but
yep.
They just...
Well, there was one game up there in Barrie where Frank was just off his game. And
yeah. That was one time it wasn't close. The
no.
Cardinals beat up on him and ended up winning 11-1.
And I think that just stays in the back of his head when he pitches out here, like on nights like today and everything. I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to let off the gas against these guys.
Maybe we should have known that Garces was going to do what he did in London his next start, because I'm sure last year that performance against the Cardinals at home and that lopsided loss motivated him to do better.
I almost want to go back and look at the stats and go, okay, what did he do after that game? Because I'm sure the next team did not get off so easily.
Doubtful.
It was a Thursday night. I think it was the last day of May or something, and it was just unexpected. The Cardinals put up a big spot. Frank got chased in the 5th inning.
And then the very next night, the Baycats came in and won a hard-fought battle here in extra innings.
Yep. Ben Davey talks about that one, and I corrected it on his Facebook. I was like, yeah, it wasn't a quick one at all. As Garces just makes very tidy work here in the 8th inning. Another punch-out. 61 on the season now for Mr. 97. As we head to the top of the 9th inning when we come back here on Cable 14.
Hey Cardinals fans, we got this afternoon's lucky winning 50/50 number in support of the Cancer Assistance Program. If you have ticket number C-6550, you are tonight's lucky winner. Once again, C-6550. Head over to the Cancer Assistance booth on the concourse to claim your prize. And thank you for supporting such an important cause.
My first professional glove, that's the one I remember the most. When I was coming up, even though it wasn't that long ago, having your name on a glove was a big deal.
Connor Corey finishing up his warm-ups as we head to the top of the 9th inning. The Barrie Baycats leading this one 6-2 on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Canada Day at the ballpark. Neil Sherwaswell, Matt Creeley on the call with you guys and gals. We take a quick look at the Eddertown scoreboard once again. Final just in from Kitchener. The Kitchener Panthers defeating the Brantford Red Sox. It was in Brantford. It was 3-1 final. Red Sox getting a run in the home half of the 9th inning to make it a close one. Top of the 8th, or bottom of the 8th inning now at Chatham-Kent. Barnstormers leading that one 5-2. And of course the other game is a final as well. London defeating the Toronto Maple Leafs 6-3 here. Majors jumping back into second place by themselves, pending the outcome of the Barnstormers and Royals game anyways. As Connor Corey goes to work with an 0-1 count in his favor against Nolan Maciabrota. As he takes that one on the other half, and 0-2 here, and Maciabrota is still just not like him hitting here. Having all kinds of trouble with strike zones here.
Yeah, unless it's Jacob Gadget, he
Doesn't seem to hit well against anybody but Gadget.
Seeing the Cardinals in his nightmares this year for sure. After the Cardinals' narrow 2-1 victory at Barrie on Saturday, May 31st, Macabrota came up to some of the Cardinals after the game and was just gushing about the talent of Frazie's Adames. He said he had no answer for him.
Yep.
Adames, of course, had a huge start.
Left that game with, unfortunately, a blister in his hand, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did. Thankfully, it didn't hold him back too much. Aside from that, and
that one's going to get past there. Macabrota is, definitely hearing us up in the ballpark.
Him and everybody else.
He's got himself another double, and this one's going into the outfield, and that's trouble. Macabrota is going to get to third here. So give him the double, and then an error on the throw that puts him to third. And he's taking off his pads now, talking to Jonathan Salazzo at third base.
Stepping up the plate, left fielder number 6, Tristan.
And Salazzo's probably saying, funny seeing you here. But not the start of this inning you wanted if you're Connor Corey. You had Macabrota on the ropes at 0-2 and just unfortunately got let up here. A liner down the line. That's a great piece of hitting by Macabrota. As Clark hits this one foul out of play.
So, Neil, you were talking about the Barnstormers. It looks like they've added on another run here to make it 6-2 in that game against Guelph. And I was curious about, because it seems like they've been winning a lot of ball games lately, and we've also talked on this broadcast about that wild comeback from down 7-1 that they made to tie it off Victor Payano in the London Majors in the 8th inning on a few Sundays ago, only to lose in walk-off fashion 8-7.
Yep.
Since that loss, they are 11-2.
Yeah.
It'll improve to 12 if they win this one tonight.
And, it's just great. Like I said, we can't say enough good things about those Barnstormers. And now Sam's mocking us on Facebook Messenger, so that's okay. He's laughing at us. Because Macabrota's got 2 doubles and, a single, pretty sure. Yep, 2 doubles, a single, and a strikeout, so.
I know you Barrie folks were on me for the perfect game tease for Frank Garces, but I wasn't kidding. I told you. You were all warned about the announcer jinx we have up here.
Yep. We need somebody with a serious bunch of voodoo to come down here. That one's caught by Dominguez in right field. He flips it into Rempel. Macabrota wisely staying at third here. 1 away now.
Stepping up on the plate, the designated hitter number 4, with Garcia.
Yeah, we're bringing sour candy. I'm finding somebody's bobblehead. We're turning into a Joe Boo doll. Something's happening next week.
It'll be next Sunday, I believe, the next time that you'll hear Neil and I in the booth.
Who's here Friday? I know it's wrestling night, so hopefully Mr. Duffy is back in the box.
Now, we haven't had confirmation, but I'm going to assume he will be, as I know he'll be extremely motivated to turn up for wrestling night.
It's his company here, so, he's got to be here.
Yeah.
I want to go step in the ring. I don't want to be bounced off ropes. I don't want to be thrown through tables, nothing like that. I just want to go stand in one of those wrestling rings so I can say I did it. Grew up watching wrestling as a kid, so it's just got to be a rite of passage. You want to see how hard it is to bounce off those ropes. I'll probably break a neck, and you'll be called to duty because what happened to Neil? He had an unfortunate accident with the damn wrestling ring. Jenny's looking at you. No, you're not. You can stand it. You can't do anything in it. No jumping off a top rope. Absolutely not.
So, Matt, why are you by yourself in the broadcast booth this week? You would not believe me if I told you.
Yep. Some 50-year-old decided to try to relive his childhood here. Not happening. We'll step in the wing. We'll gingerly walk through the ropes, and we'll just stand in the middle and take a picture and then get the heck out of there. Before anything else happens. No chair shots, nothing else. My name's not CJ. I don't work for Well, and I don't want to go through a table. With all due respect, CJ.
It's a good life if you want it.
Yeah. This one's line, and Macabrota has to do a little bit of mambo to get out of the way of that one from Garcia.
How did Garcia even get to that pitch? It was way up and in on the hands, and Macabrota's probably standing at third base thinking, oh, that's an easy take. Oh, got to get out of the way.
Yeah. Connor Corey's back there going, what do I got to do to get this guy out? Like, he just put that one nowhere in the wheelhouse. That one's chopped through the hole, and Willie Garcia is not making friends here. No hot dogs again.
Concessions was closed, but just to add insult to injury, Garcia's going to knock a base hit there.
He's having quite the week now. Might be a contender for that Player of the Week nod.
Yeah, I was going to say he's trying to be a late entry in here. Of course, the Baycats not playing this weekend until yesterday.
Yep.
But then
4 for 5 yesterday and a couple hits today.
Yep.
Flowery eyes. He's definitely up there.
Well, we see you, Willie.
We recognize him.
Consider yourself in consideration.
Yep. I'm going to look like a fool because that almost no-hitter and the performance by Garces. But, you know, Jacob Kush last night was kind of slightly better and more important as far as the value. Double look at the numbers. And if I can't make up my mind, I'll just send it to somebody else and let them figure it out. Lined up the middle here. Past the diving Luis Bernardo, and it gets past the outfielder as well. Dominguez unable to catch that ball. Allows the runner to go to his third. Garcia's now at third, runner at first now. 7-2 is the score here as the Baycats threatening for more here in the inning. Connor Corey, unfortunately, not been able to get any defensive help here on some pretty well-hit baseballs. And Tyler Plumpton, who's quietly 3 for 3 with a sac fly and 3 singles and an RBI.
Great day for Plumpton today as the Baycats offense with some parting shots here for the Hamilton Cardinals in the 9th inning.
Flipped over to first in time. Plumpton does us all a favor, gets out of the inning. A 5-4-3 double play ends the inning. But the Baycats get another insurance run and lead this one by 5. It's 7-2 as we head to the home half of the 9th inning. And the last chance for the Cardinals here. Next home game, of course, is Friday night here. Next game for the Cardinals as well. So make sure you catch the Friday night baseball. It's wrestling night here at Bernie Arbor Stadium. Like we said, Reed Duffy's looking forward to A1 Wrestling here in the ring. They're bringing a wrestling ring here to Bernie Arbor Stadium. So that's just, you know, if you're a casual wrestling fan like myself and everything else, you got to come out just to watch a wrestling match at a baseball game.
Yeah, that'll be a spectacle to say the least. And wrestling night's always such a big hit here at Bernie. I know the players, it's their favorite promotional night by far because they just get to sit in the dugout and watch the chaos happen in between innings. And Brantford Red Sox are going to be in town for that one. And if the Red Sox Cardinals meeting on Friday is half as chaotic as the one from opening night, then that will be a game to watch for sure.
That it will be. Of course, 7:30 is your start time. Of course, if you can't make it to the ballpark, come tune us on Cable 14. Friday Night Baseball. Reed Duffy might be back in the box. We're hoping so. Of course, he had dental surgery earlier last week. That's why I missed last Friday. We're hoping Reed's back and in condition to help us call through the games and everything else and just be a part of the wrestling fun because he is huge in that A1 promotion. Looks like Carlos Sano is going to take over on the hill here. Ramon Henriquez was getting loose as well, but it's definitely in a situation like that. You know, Baycats not playing for a couple days. They do play on Tuesday, but Sano probably needs an inning of work here because yesterday was not going to get one in a 12-1 opportunity, that's for sure.
Sano has more often than not been the team's closer this year. He's got 2 saves, 2 of the 4, of course, the Baycats have this year. He's putting together quite the season out of the bullpen. 12 innings, just 8 strikeouts, but only 1 walk and a single earned run for a .75 ERA. Near spotless on the record there for Sano this season, and it's a 5-run ball game, but they figured, hey, let's get him some reps here in this one and make sure the Cardinals can't weasel their way back into this game like they kind of did on Friday, turning that one from laughable to somewhat respectable against the Welland Jackfish. But Baycats not pulling any punches here with their bullpen in this one.
That they are not. No, it's definitely a business trip for these guys. It's been all business. Of course, they got here a little later than they planned to be, I'm sure. But again, traffic on a long weekend of a Sunday, coming down the 400 series is never good on a good day.
No. Yeah. Sunday, weather like this, Canada Day, long weekend.
Yeah. A lot of people taking tomorrow off because, again, Tuesday's a holiday, too. So, let's make it a 5-day weekend. I'm one of those poor blokes going to work tomorrow. I think literally there's 4 people in the office. They're debating if they want pizza or they want to order takeout. So, it's not.
Yeah, take matters into your own hands.
Yep. I just have to make sure, is the coffee shop open in the morning? Because if I'm coming in at 7:30 and no coffee, I'm not going to be happy. Coffee shop is open, but it's only open until 12. So Williams fouls that one off. The count is 1-2. He's made solid contact all game today.
It's had a nice weekend.
He has.
Hitting home run number 4 on the season, I believe.
Yep.
That was number 4 for him on Friday night.
He's going to be a big key to this whenever the Cardinals do this year.
Yep.
Watches that one inside and gets out of the way, and has got a 3-1 count in his favor now. That game is now in the top of the 9th inning. Barnstormer's up 7-2 over the Guelph Royals. Garrett Day is into the ball game.
They're not pulling any punches either.
Nope. Again, they've got a couple. They got a day off, and I'm pretty sure Day is probably working on Canada Day. So, as Williams draws the leadoff walk here to start the 9th inning.
And kudos to Williams there for not trying to swing out of his shoes there, not letting the score dictate what he was doing. Just a nice professional at bat, and just keeping the ball rolling here for the Cardinals, putting a man on for Carlos Dominguez, and Williams' day here is done as he'll get pinch run for with Nick Velocci over there at first base.
Yeah, Nick Velocci comes in to run for Josh Williams, and who's had a great day at the plate and a great weekend, just building a high note here. And yeah, maybe the score doesn't dictate it and everything else, but it's been a very positive week for the Cardinals. You look past Friday night because that was just going to happen. It's the well and Jackfish. You just know there's going to be an inning. They're going to finally get the bats to erupt. And, well, unfortunately, it was here at this ballpark. As Dominguez takes a big hack at that offering from Carlos Sano. And then today, you're facing the ace.
Yeah.
So, you got to go out and do your battles. And, hey, it was 4-2 at one point. It was 3-0 at one point. You made a game out of it.
Yeah, it was a nice 5th inning they had, proving that Garces is human.
Yep.
And, now coming into the bottom of the 9th of Game 4 this weekend, and Cardinals, no question, some big character wins to start it off. The much, much needed offensive explosion in Toronto on Wednesday night. The 18 runs, all the homers left and right, just a cathartic win there. And then they battled and hung tough in Welland and got it done there. It wasn't pretty, but that was another, playoff baseball style win, really.
Yeah.
On the road in the most hostile environment in this league. And
I don't say it's not quite Yankee Stadium, but it's pretty darn close. It's pretty darn close.
They are.
And that's not a shot against Jackfish fans. They're just very passionate.
No, it's a credit to them, if anything.
They're very passionate and very loud.
Yeah, that's what you want to do as a home fan. The effect that you can have on the game. And yeah, enter Welland Stadium as a road supporter at your own risk.
Yep. Definitely don't wear the gear. Whatever you do.
Yeah. Nothing too serious meant by that, of course, but you will get heckled.
Yep.
Stepping up to the plate, the center fielder, number 5.
Carlos Dominguez giving Tyler Duncan some pointers here on what he saw from Carlos Sano after that strikeout. And if I'm the Cardinals, though, despite and again, they didn't roll over on Friday night after that game got out of hand quickly against the Jackfish, but the thing that's eluded them all year, and the thing that I think they were hoping to see a lot more of this season after the busy winter, was just those convincing weekends. Those 3-1s, those 4-0s, those 3-0s, and they had their chances. They started off 2-0, and I know it was going to be 2 tough games with Abram and the Jackfish, and then Garces and the Baycats coming in here, but they have yet to put together again a winning streak of longer than 2 games this year. They've yet to sweep a weekend this season. They've just
Well, they seem to always catch a team that, you know, just has to find a way to, something's got to give for them too. So as far as the schedule has not been their friend this year.
But I mean, that's baseball, right? Like
Yep.
it's the IBL. It's not 5-man rotations. Catching teams on their off day is a lot harder than it is in the major leagues. So you got to find a way to string it together for an entire weekend, because if they can't do that, well, how are they going to do it in a playoff series, right?
Well, exactly. Especially when that first round is a best of 5.
Yeah. And the pieces are there, and it's been quiet on the transaction front for a few weeks now. So the top brass and everything, they believe in this group clearly for the time being, and they just gotta have everything fall into place, and it hasn't yet.
Just gotta wait for that other shoe to fall one of these days. Duncan fouls that one off. Battles with Sano here.
Like, it feels like we've been bracing almost for it. That explosive weekend, that 4 in a row, that 5 in a row, and
it just takes everybody to get hot at the same time, which is harder to do than you think it is.
Yeah. They're still searching, no doubt about it. 2 outs away from falling to 9-10 on the season, not where they wanted to be.
Honestly, I thought they'd probably be right now, probably second, behind Welland, behind Barrie. Again, I wasn't expecting Barrie to be where they are either. So.
No, there's been, and it's been far from the only surprise this season. But I'm sure the Cardinals expected that of themselves too, and it's humbling when you're not where you want to be at a certain point of the season. You know, with the calendar flipping over to July, this is a good time to take stock and reemphasize that they got to go.
Duncan watches that one upstairs, and that runs the count to full at 3-2. Veloci still standing at first base, not with much of a lead at all. Cardinals looking for Duncan to just, put a little charge into something here, or find a way on base anyways. Sano's 3-2 offering is fouled away. Duncan doing his best to battle here.
Hey, let's go, dog.
Yes! The fans that have stuck around are definitely, very vocal.
Yeah, I usually see throughout the game the attendance drop off, but the vast majority have stuck around here. As you said,
Duncan just gets punched out on that one. Didn't know where that one was, but thought it was ball 4. He was on his way to first, but the plate umpire had other plans for him. And Duncan's retired for the second out in the inning here, and Sano gets another punch out. 2 in the afternoon, and I believe that's 13 in the ball game for the Cardinals.
Tanner Rempel.
Which is not like them, but as far as the strikeouts go. But again, you're going against Frank Garces, you're going against Sano here, so it's not like you're seeing guys. You're going to have some ridiculously opportunities here. You're not going to leave baseballs up on you too often.
And you've heard the chatter this year, right, all the time, as Veloci will take second on defensive indifference, that this team shouldn't, in theory, strike out all that much, but they happen. It's been too many strikeouts, I think, for the offense. They got to put more balls in play and just put more competitive at-bats together. And looking at the entire league, the Hamilton Cardinals have struck out 163 times as an offense, which ranks about mid-table, but then you factor in fewer games played, and the rate's too high. You can't be striking out double digits every game and expect to string wins together. It's just not how this game works.
No, exactly. And that other game in Chatham County has gone final, so the Barnstormers winning yet again, 7-2 over the Guelph Royals.
Man,
those guys.
Good for them, really.
I'm pretty sure they're not moving on the power rankings.
No,
they don't have any reason to.
They certainly deserve their flowers. If they're not on your radar yet, look out.
Yeah, they're for real. I questioned that a couple of weeks ago when it was a Tuesday night against London. I was like, are these guys for real, or is it just,
Tuesday night, maybe it's just a bizarro one-off.
That was their first night, the first time they had ever beat the London Majors. And then they go into the Labatt Park on Friday night, do the same thing. Like, just the same script. Okay, we're just going to battle here. We're going to claw our way back into this thing.
A lot of respect for that team, no question about it.
And they've had the Cardinals number.
Yes, ever since they came into the league last year, I believe
Yeah, it's not even close. I think it's like we've beat them once, maybe twice.
I think it's twice.
Once here, no, actually.
Once here, once in Chatham, and all the rest of the Barnstormers have won.
Yep. It was the night before the Ulster game last year when we beat them here.
Yeah. Unbelievable effort from Takaki Iguchi, a 130 pitch complete game shutout, something like that.
Yep.
But that's the kind of thing it took, because just a few weeks later they went into Chatham for a doubleheader on a Saturday, and I believe they scored 1 or 2 runs across across 2 games.
They lost both of them.
They did.
This one's popped up and foul out of play over our heads here, and Rempel has now a full count here with 2 away. Cardinals down to their last pitch here, or last strike anyways. Baycats looking to get another victory and sweep the weekend, their weekend anyways.
Even if it's just 2 games, it's a nice confidence booster to go 2-0.
2-0, and then they go home. They have Tuesday, Canada Day. I believe they're in London, if the schedule serves me correctly, but I could be wrong. I'm sure Sam will message me if I'm wrong. This one's popped in the air, and Brandon Hernandez will make the catch, and that is the ball game. The Barrie Baycats winning this one 7-2 here, behind the outstanding pitching performance by Frank Garces and offensive explosions all over the place in his behalf. For the Cardinals, hey, 2-2 on a week is not a bad thing, especially when you have to face who you were playing against too. You had Toronto, you had Welland for 2, and you had the Barrie Baycats. It's not like it was an easy week of this season as well here, but of course you're finishing up 8 games in 11 days too. So, it's great to see some things that were positive and everything else, but there's stuff that has to definitely got to cut down the strikeouts. You definitely got to just find ways to manufacture runs if you're the Cardinals here. We're still having problems at the plate here. But yes, they have the opportunity to do so. They will do so.
Yeah, and you got to commend the fight for the Cardinals this weekend, coming down to the last stretch of this very busy schedule. But again, they're starting off strong every weekend, and they're not finishing strong every weekend. They're still just kind of stuck in neutral. And again, we said it last week, consistency is of the essence for this team. And as they move into July, 1 game under 500, hoping better days are ahead. And not soul searching, but they gotta, take these losses, let it build character, and just be better for it down the road. Because if you don't learn something from it, then what's it all for, right?
Well, exactly. So our next home game is opposed to the next game for the Cardinals as well. It's Friday night here. Like we said, it's wrestling night at the ballpark. Come join us here. 7:30 is the start time. If you can't make it, come tuning in on Cable 14. For Neil Shrivastava and Matt Crilly, thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your Canada Day, and we'll see you guys on Friday night. Take care.
Some pretty deep drivers too. It's not just a bunch of rookies. A lot of the guys have been doing this for like 10, 15 years, ever since the division started. So it's not an easy task.
Trying to get around